Hello and welcome to Spurs Kings TV. It is Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time for Ashmatic analysis. Ash, you well?
Yes, my brother. I'm well. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good man. Good considering. I had to fight off a lot of people on Sunday. Sorry, because everyone was a bit mad about Spurs, but who cares?
Yeah, man. Life goes on, man. Life moves, man. But we're all Spurs fans here. We'll live by the Spurs and we'll die by the Spurs, right? Something like
Oh, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
that.
But anyway, let's bring out the guest. Let's bring out Mr. Regular himself. What am I doing? Orin.
Whoa. Spurs have lost. You guys are meant to be pissed off, annoyed, Levy
Mate,
out,
bro,
Vinny
I
out.
told you, bro. I
We'll
told
get to
you.
that, man. Don't
I
worry,
told you
we'll
weeks
get there,
ago.
man.
Daniel
We'll
Levy
get
leaving has made me happy for the rest of the season. Losses
there.
don't mean nothing to me no more.
You've all become like me. Whoa. Wait. Like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Agree with everything you both said. Move on. Let's analyze it. Let's talk about it.
All right. Next one. Ain't seen him for a while, but hope he is well. But Eugene, you good?
I'm good, man. Good to be on. I need my therapy. I need to, talk some things through, talk me off the ledge. So good to be on.
Good
Up,
to see
up.
you. Then I think this guy's making his debut tonight. I think Ash has streamed with him. I don't think I have yet. I think I'm still haven't streamed with him, so it'd be good to actually finally get some time with him. But he does his morning shows, which he did stop for a while, and I don't understand why he did that, but he's back to doing them. But a good welcome and a debut to Nige. You well?
Good, mate. Thanks for the welcome and absolutely honoured to be on tonight with esteemed guests. And yeah, you are. I think you have been on Marlon before, be on the lane with me
Oh
as well.
yes, I have.
I'm sat in the corner most of the time, not saying a lot. So, just
Yeah, I let
but
Dan
honoured to be on.
take over. And a big congratulations to Dan as well.
Yeah.
And then last final guest. Hold on, can I get this one? Another person making their debut, but a big welcome to Christian. You well?
Evening, guys. How we doing?
We're
All
good.
good, man. Good to see you, Christian, man.
All
Great to be
good.
here. Great to be here.
Lovely.
All good. All right, shall we get started in this? Shall we get started with the pain? And let's talk about Sunday. But when I say let's talk about Sunday, let's talk about this home form that everyone is going crazy about and the way we're playing at home. Ash, I'll let you start before I bring in the guest.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We've gone from one style of football to another. And I think Spurs fans were used to a certain attacking prowess, especially at home. So fans need to have something to chat about, something to kind of get off their seats for. And I think where the manager's prioritizing off the ball work, how we are out of possession, I think that's manifesting out in real time. And fans, the patience isn't really there at the moment, in my opinion. So they want to see attacking football, they want to see attacking patterns of play. And because they're not seeing none of that, which I think is the end part, in my opinion, they're starting to lose a bit of patience. And I do see the concerns, and I do understand why people are quite concerned of the home form, because it's leading on from the back of what happened with Ange as well. And so when you've had X amount of home games not winning under attacking manager, now you're going to a more pragmatic manager who's trying to shore it up, as you can see by his transfers, his team selections. It feels very like wooden. Do you know what I mean? And so fans are like, how are we meant to get behind it if we're losing all the time, or we're drawing games, or even when we do win, it doesn't look like it's a forward progression of what we saw last season. So I think that loss was something that a lot of fans were expecting, or not expecting, but they could see coming, if that makes sense. So I think that's a part of the reason why the home form, the mood, the energy, it dips, it goes off, and yeah, that's how I see it, bro. That's the reason why I think the home form isn't doing so well.
It's a quick question on that.
Yeah.
And I've been asking everyone this question. If we'd flipped it, say the home form was the away form and the away form was the home form,
Mhm.
People will be concerned? What do you think?
I still think there'll be a part of the fans that may be concerned, but I think ultimately you're paying the highest price or one of the highest prices in the land. I think that's where it comes
Go
down
to
to.
the away game.
Not everyone could get to the away games. Everyone's going to the home games. And remember, like, we're meant to be the 12th man. So I think if we were winning at home and we're trying to build a fortress, that will be a contrast to what we saw last season. And then I think more people could get behind that is because you're going to see the team live, you're going to support the boys, and we're winning. And so we're like, right, you know what? Now we're building an actual team that's going to be very hard to break down when they're at home. So I think that's what it is for me personally. I don't know if the away form has improved. I do get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like you're like pick a poison. You can't have it both ways, can you? Like, why not? Why can't we have it both ways?
No,
Damn it.
the question, what I was going to lead on to as well. Do you think it has anything to do? Do the home fans play a part in this as well? Because, like you said, this is on the back. This is not short term. We actually haven't been good in this stadium at all at home, and we've been terrible. We've won 3 games. Yeah,
we've
won 3 games this calendar year. So we're doing, we're like, you know, at least we're doing slightly better than West Ham. But in the sense of Burnley, everyone was all excited, and then we've played some difficult teams at home. We haven't played easy teams at home. Like, I know people was expecting this to be an easy run-in, but you know, it's been what it is. But do you think the fans are getting this PTSD straight away as soon as another team gets it? Because as soon as Morgan Rogers scored, it went flat.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of Spurs fans, we know what we're like when we go a goal down. It was good to see when we were away from home at the Amex at Brighton, we had that little fight back and we managed to claw it back. But I think when we're at home, it's that whole, we can't shake it off as fans. We just know what we're like. We're used to our team not, coming back at home and dominating the team. I think what it is as well, in possession, because we're going to get into it. But if we were like creating with the ball, chances, testing the keeper, it was going wide, or like it was like at the moment, all you're seeing is my man just rubbing the ball, like, you know what I'm saying? Getting the towel like that. He's just like, and he's skimming bare teeth as well, He's like, I'm like, bro, this ain't the leg,
This is why I came into the team, man. My chance.
Yeah, he is good at throws, but I think it's the urgency, I think, from certain things, and it's like not always set piece. Come on, you like not create something tangible, because at the end of the day, we're all football fans. We like to pay. We pay the game. We all come to see and watch it. But look, that's just my opinion. Look, I'll let the others talk.
Eugene, I'll bring you in. I'll bring you in first. So, what's your opinion on this home foreman, Thomas Frank?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, I want to issue a public apology to my man Nige about a certain player named Jack who I didn't rate, but I wish he was on our team right now. He would have helped. So, no agendas, Nige. You were right. I take the L on that one. Now, as far as our home form, look, when Frank came in, we were told, or at least I was told by all the streamers, that he's a tactician. He's gonna adjust to every opponent. He's not gonna do an Ange where we just play one way and that's it. So when we played PSG and he went 3 in the back, I was like, cool, that's interesting. So I was expecting for him to change things up, especially given our struggles in attack. So at home, specifically against Villa, but especially against Wolves, against lesser opponents, playing Palhinha and Bentancur to me is criminal. Like our attack is not great. We can all see that. There was a graph of Bentancur's passes against Villa, not a single forward pass. Every pass was sideways and sideways. So, one thing is, again, I'm surprised, or I'm not sure why he's not trying to change things up. And secondly, playing Bentancur and Palhinha together against lesser opponents at home, given our struggle scoring, for me, that just adds to anxiety of all the fans watching. We're playing Nuno ball or Conte ball without any quality in attack.
But the question
So,
is, so you say that, but Paulinho and Bentancur have only recently started playing together at home. Bergvall and Sarr have been playing, and we've still struggled.
well, actually, so my thing is, I'm not super high on Sar, but he's been really good recently. I mean, he's been scoring goals. He's been, when he played in a 10 role, he's been actually pretty decent. Bergvall, yes, he makes mistakes, but he's a runner, right? He pushes the ball, he takes chances. Bentancur, again, I don't know if it's tactics from Frank or whether it's just the way he is, but he's super safe. I don't remember him making one, through ball or a line breaking pass. He just takes the ball, he slows the game down and gives it back to Romero or, passes it sideways. So as a fan watching the game, I'm like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, hey, like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Again, like if we're playing against Liverpool's or Cities or Arsenal's, cool. You know what? Like, I can see that. But against Wolves or Villas, to me personally, that's unacceptable. Going Nuno ball at this point is not what the fans want. And the results with scumbag some wins, a lot of set piece goals, own goals. People are showing me the stats where we're third in goals scored, but most of them were deflections, own goal, set pieces, which is great. It's just not sustainable. And at home, we need some more. What's the word I'm looking for? Some more intent, I guess. And that's not what I've been seeing.
Go on, Nige, come in.
Oh, I disagree totally. For me, I'm just, you know what? I get it against Wolves, maybe play a more attacking midfielder, but Aston Villa are a really strong side. They're probably one of the most informed sides at the moment, currently in the Premier League after beating us. And they have a really strong midfield three. So I think if we want Xavi in that 10, which most fans do, we can't then rely on a Bergvall to play a young kid or Gray. We need that strength. We need that double pivot. For me, if we're going to play Xavi Simons in that 10, if we're playing him off the left, maybe slightly different. I think, I know why Bentancur's in the side because he's strong. He doesn't lose the ball too often. He is good defensively and he gives us options at set pieces because he's good in the air from corners and free kicks. So I get why Bentancur's in there. I think is one of them. For me, I get that maybe he shouldn't play every game, but for me, Villa, 100%. I didn't have an issue at all with Bentancur starting the game.
Christian, bring you in on it as well. Home form.
Firstly, can I start with a disclaimer? Because it's going to sound really negative. I'm not Frank out anywhere near that. But we can only talk about what we see, right? We can only talk about what we see.
That's a critique. That's your thing.
Firstly, it's been mentioned. Like, I'm a little bit disappointed because Frank started off when he joined the club. We want to play aggressive attacking football. He's not done that so far. I was so excited after the Super Cup, seeing 3-5 at the back, taking it to PSG, seeing something different. Then we get to the Premier League, it's not changed one bit. There's a few performances in terms of tactically and not changing, even in-game management for me, that's a bit concerning. I think subs, you need to plan to either do them when you're up or to kill momentum. And our subs were stood there for 10 minutes. And then ultimately a second goal's gone in. A throw-in's gone off, not brought them on. They got a corner, not brought them on. So that was a bit concerning for me. I think Bournemouth stands out massively because from minute one, we was on a back foot. I didn't see nothing for 90 minutes that possibly changed it. But just bringing it to what we saw in the last game, and especially the Bentancur talk. Now, we all seen everywhere, like we just saw now, the Bentancur pass map. I'm not going to put it on the player because it has been out there quietly. But if anyone has seen Paulinho's pass map, it ain't much better. So when the two of them are doing it and the manager's coming out and said they both played well and he picked the right midfield, they must be following instructions. that's where the concern starts to kick in, right? For me, putting Bergvall in there, putting Sarr in there, I don't think they're the kind of players that will be mavericks in the sense they will go against what the manager wants. So I believe the style will still be the same. There's a reason why he's played Sarr and Bergvall mainly in the 10. It's because he don't trust them on the ball and he don't trust them defensively. All he uses them for is their legs to press high. That's the only reason he's using them, and doesn't set a good thing for them boys. I'm gonna throw another name out there because he played well against Doncaster. Believe, from my memory serves me right, came on against Brighton. Archie Gray, I thought he's played well when he's had a chance so far this year. He's not even getting a look in. But at the moment, I don't see tactically what we're trying to do. We're getting it to Kudos. We're getting it to Odebear. People have been saying Odebear and Tell are not good enough. For me, where they're picking up the ball as a wide forward, you don't want to be picking up on the halfway line. Luckily for us, Kudos is good enough to beat 2-3 people. Odebear, he can beat one man, then he'd be looking to either cut inside and cross it. But when he beats the winger, then he's looking at either a 6 or an 8. Then he's still got the fullback to beat. Isolation, the front three, always on their own. It's a concern for me. And then with what Nige said, I agree with you in terms of the starting 11. And again, going back into tactics, is Villa are a very good team. So we have to respect them. So I'm fine with the starting lineup. In the first opening 5-10 minutes, we knew Villa weren't at their best. They weren't. Villa normally play very, very tight, play 4 centre midfielders. Naturally, they're all centre midfielders. And they play tightly and they want you to go out wide, right? But they knew about Kudos. So what did they do? They spread out more. The space then became available for Xavi in the middle. In-game management, a proper tactician would have said, right, 10 minutes, let's get them to think we're changing, go through the middle. If it don't work, at least you've got them second guessing. So then they then re-squeeze and Kudos has now got the space. So you're getting them second guessing, and I haven't seen enough in-game management and tactics change to really be really positive right now, I'll be honest.
Warren?
Is the question still the same, or is it
Still the same, yeah.
With the home form and the fans, I think, yeah, it's the players have to give something for the fans to cheer about. And like you said, like if Spurs score and they play the attacking and they're testing the keeper, and the fans will get behind them, because even in the Villa game, yes, it went quiet, but then the fans start singing again. I think it was just before, Roger scored. The fans start singing again, but the players just go into, I don't know, shutdown mode, defense mode. It's like we've scored a goal. We want to really win at home, so we'll just defend. We're not going to attack anymore. We're not going to progress the ball. And when Spurs scored, or, Bentancur scored, the first thing I thought was, oh, fuck, they're not going to win. I just felt it. I just knew that Villa would get a goal somehow, either it was scrappy or whatever, and then they'll get a second one. I just knew it. There was no, and even when it was 1-1, there was nothing I was seeing that was go, Spurs are gonna, get a goal. It just wasn't happening. As for Bentancur, you guys know, well, if you've ever watched a stream before, you know my views on him. And the thing is, with my issue with Bentancur is that it's not asking him. He's capable of making forward passes, and he doesn't. He just, like, at one point in the Villa game, he was playing as a centre back in between the two centre backs, which is okay. So what are you going to do with the ball? And that's all he does. And another thing he does as well, he does the same thing as Pierre does. When Spurs would take the lead, Pierre would just always calm people down, slow the game down, slow it down. Now, we've all known that when it comes to certain Spurs player, when they have time to think, they don't make the best decisions. So if the whole team is slowed down and Vicario gets the ball and Bentancur is saying slow down, he stops, he puts a foot in the ball, the Aston Villa gets back in position, and then he passes to Bentancur then passes it to Van de Ven or Donzo, and it's just repeated over and over. And that's That's what I'm seeing. And like my issue with Bentancur is what I've noticed about him as well is that he probably play tomorrow. For the first 20 minutes, he'll go forward. He'll support Xavi or whoever is playing number 10. Then he slowly starts to fade. His energy dips and he slowly starts to go backwards. Polina is a number 8. That's what he was bought for. We've all seen what he can do. So that should tell me, like, Bentancur is experienced enough to go, right, you've got this. I'm going to go up. I'm going to help these guys. But he doesn't. And in the Aston Villa game, you saw that Polina was, like, ahead of Bentancur and going, right, what am I meant to do here? Because it's not his natural position. It's meant to be the other way around. And, like, the heat map you showed against Villa is exactly, it's close to pretty much every game Bentancur started is pretty much the close. Sideways passes, backwards passing. And that's, like, you have to get the ball forward. That's the key. Because if you don't get the ball forward, like Xavi's running back and forth trying to look for space. And it's his speed as well. I don't think Bentancur is physically fast enough for the Premiership, or his mentality is fast enough. He can't flick a ball around the corner. He hasn't got the awareness, the peripheral vision of going right, And if he can, I haven't seen enough of it for him to do it. It's very rare that you see Bentancur do like a one-touch pass. It's always stop the ball, look up.
Are we saying then the issue is the quality of the player, or are we saying it's Frank in terms of selection?
Yeah, I don't think Frank expects Bentancur to play as a centre back. I think he goes, right, he's doing that, but
he's saying that he's doing a good job. So
yeah, I don't understand that. Maybe it's for confidence. Maybe it's not to disturb the team. But I don't see how Frank is looking at that and going, right, how is he doing a good job? At what? Is he a number 8? I mean, what if I was to ask you guys what position is Bentancur? Is he a number 8? Is he a number 6?
For me, he's a number 8, and he's a player that is he's meant to be a box-to-box number 8 on the right-hand side, and his attributes are meant to be passing, and in tight spaces he used to be competent, where he's able to get out of tight spaces, and then aerially as well. He's good in the air, so like attacking the box, getting onto things. And under Conte, before he had the knee injury, I remember Conte was battering him because he was a bit conservative, and he was like, I need him to get out of that because he's way better than that. And ever since he's had that knock, he's kind of gone back into the old Bentancur, in my opinion. And Juventus fans were criticizing him as well. And now we're seeing that same thing where Spurs fans are doing exactly the same. So I think, and I'll just throw this up here real quick, but there's something I saw online, and I can get you guys' opinion on it. And they're talking about the styles of managers. And they're talking about one manager. Some managers, they prefer distance. So they prefer teams to have width, meaning your fullbacks or your wingers, you get wide. So against Villa, we go ultra wide to create spaces for our other attacking players to get forward, right? Other managers prefer to have players a lot closer together and a bit more narrow. And then some managers, they prefer mobility. So mobility would be someone like Sarr, Bergvall, but with mobility, like what Ange wanted, he wanted players to be like, breaking into the box a lot more attacking. You kind of risk it because they vacate their position. That's positional play. So when you don't have a Bentancur running forward, vacating his place at the time, then you lose a little bit of defensive structure because they're leaving gaps. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to ask, which one would you lot prefer? Would you prefer mobility?
Great question. Yeah.
Like, as in you've got your Sars, your Bergvalls running up and down in that position against a midfield that has someone like Kamara, who's physical. You've got Onana, who's physical. So 2 beasts in the middle against a small Xavi, because he's quite small and slight, new to the league as well, new to the Premier League, hasn't really quite adapted. And then having a youngster alongside him as well. And then you've got obviously Rodgers. He's not slight either, but you've got McGinn, that's a bit more physical, shall I say. Forget Rodgers. Let's say McGinn. Do you know what I mean? What would you prefer? There's no right or wrong. I just want to hear opinions now, and anyone can answer.
Frank's come out and said himself, isn't he, that he he wants to sort the defence out first. It's all about sorting the defence out, stopping conceding the goals, which to the main part we kind of have done. But then again, today, I don't know whether any of you have seen the pre-match Monaco interview, and he was asked about the Premier League and has it got boring, and he basically said that him and Villa, they were literally tactically trying to cancel each other out, which kind of tells me where we are at the moment with Spurs. And I think he wants that solid base. Personally, I quite like the solid base, but because we haven't got the attacking players yet in place, it is a bit boring to watch. So, yeah, for me, I'm quite happy with the double pivot. I'm quite happy with security at the moment. I don't want to see us opened up every week like we have been.
But Nigel, if we look at it, we have been opened up. I mean, the team's not taking advantage of their chances. It doesn't mean we don't give up.
When did
chances.
Villa
Look at
open
the
us up?
Bodo game. We had 38% possession, and they opened us up at will. And Villa, let's not get it twisted, right? They're not in the best form. They scored until last night. They scored 6 goals in 5 games?
wins in a
Yes,
row.
last 2 games they won, but Watkins was on the bench. So if Bentancur is supposed to be this defensive anchor, we gave up both goals from their midfielders. So if he's not contributing in the attack, how come we didn't do a better job marking Rodgers and whoever scored the second goal? Because Watkins was on the bench. So so there was no threat from their strikers.
But Eugene, they've only had 2 shots on target, and both of them have gone in.
The whole game.
The whole game, 2 shots on target.
But
And we had what?
And everyone talks about XG, and their XG was low as well. So they didn't create much.
Yeah.
But neither did we, though, Marlon, right?
And
That's the thing.
The games that where we've looked very vulnerable is when Bentancur and Paulinho have not been in that midfield.
But
See, that's the thing that you're saying there.
So basically, the question is, and this is what's getting: do we go back to what Andrew's doing, where the midfield is open?
No,
Why can't we have both?
That's
but
the thing.
Marlon,
like,
Because
no,
the problem is at the moment, and from what Frank is telling us, is that we don't have the players to do both.
no, I
But it
don't
goes
think
back,
Frank-
Marlon, to what we were saying in the beginning, right? Again, Frank is supposed to be a tactician where he should be able to adjust slightly his tactics based on the opponent, right? So when we
But
play,
does he have the players to do that at the moment? If you give him the team that we've got now that's fit, does he have the team to do that at the precise moment?
he does.
so why not try Xavi and Kudus at the 10, right? Or at least try what he did against PSG, since we're having issues scoring.
I totally agree with that because
That's what I'm saying. Just try something new.
The reason why I say it is because up until Aston Villa made their subs, it was us, and I think that's what killed Frank was the fact that everyone has slowly mentioned it slowly in between everything they said. When Villa made their subs, we didn't react quick enough, and that is what killed us. Because once he doesn't react and bring them subs on, because up until that moment, Bentancur and Paulinho were running that midfield and nothing was really getting past us. And then Villa changed it, and that's what killed him. Because he didn't then bring on the subs to impact the game of Sarr, Bergvall, and all them until it was too late.
Why
I've got a
Sarr not getting
question,
time
right?
is a question I don't
So
understand.
Eugene, just a quick question, right? Why is it always either the player or the formation that's got to change, right? Why couldn't it just not be in-game tactics? So, for example, if you want to play out wide, push Kudos and Odebear either closer to Xavi or further up the field, and then release Spence and Porro.
Yeah.
Because the two in the middle, if you're saying they're defensively sound, Danso's quick and strong. Van der Ven, we just know how quick he is. They can easily split, and then one or two of the midfielders can cover that central role. But Spence is on chains. I don't know what's going on with Spence in a minute. He don't even like passing the halfway line.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least Porro's getting there. But again, he doesn't have to change the formations. Just release some of the chains and just make sure they've got that chemistry and the confidence to talk to each other and let them go figure it out. Let the players go figure it out.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I think that was Andy's downfall last season. He would let the players go figure it out, and we all saw what happened.
Yeah, but
The
he
players
didn't
wouldn't figure it
have
out.
a Paulinho.
There's
and
extremes,
Bentancur.
though,
No,
right?
but what I'm saying is that I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. It's that Pelini has shown the difference between a player who can sort things out himself. Maddison used to do it as well. He would drop deep if he wasn't getting space, things like that. But then if you have players who will stick to the manager's tactics more than players who will sort of be in-game management, it's not going to work because they're just going to be disjointed. So I think the situation is that the ball isn't being moved fast enough. And that's the key. It's not quick enough. There's no body bursting into space. I mean, Odegaard, you're looking at he's not running into space. Like I watched the Brentford West Ham highlights, and we've all noticed it. What I've noticed it that, and even Aston Villa, you had McGinn, pass the ball, run. You had even Cash, pass the ball, run. But Spurs, it's pass the ball, now I'm going to stop. Because again, if I think with Spence and Odegaard, Spence pass the ball, goes around. Odegaard's like either lost it or he's done stepovers. So there's no kind of confidence in each other. Other than Kudus and Pearl, that's why they work really well, because I think there is confidence in there, but even at times. So I think it's having a group of players who go, right, I know that if I pass you this ball and I make a run, you're going to give it back to me. There's no triangles at the moment when I'm watching. It's all very pass, run, lose the ball, recycle. Pass, run, lose the ball. Kudus is great, but at the same time, he's trying to do everything, because he wants to. And he can. He's trying to create, which is great. I just think that we'll see it against Monaco. You'll see once if Spurs score or if they go down, it's very kind of like the players to me don't look like they know how to play alongside each other, read each other, where to run, where to go. It just doesn't look like it.
What do you not think about the whole Xavi Simons thing? Because we spoke a lot about Bentancur at the moment, and we can go back to Bentancur. But how do you not feel about Xavi Simons at the moment, especially on the performance that happened on Sunday?
I had a lot of arguments in all the WhatsApp groups about Prem proven versus not Prem proven, meaning, right, players like Simmons, like Wirtz, players coming from other leagues where they don't see the same level of physicality, they don't play against the same level of competition, coming to the league, it's an adjustment. Some can adjust, it takes them a while, and some just can't. We've seen many examples of players who were doing great in other leagues who come to the Prem and they cannot adjust to the physicality, to the pace. So we see that Wirtz is struggling. Simmons, he's showing flashes when actually, like, I wanted him to play centrally, which he's been doing. But on the left, he actually had a pretty decent game against Brighton, I believe. He did pretty well. So he's showing some flashes, but I think he needs to adjust to the physicality and to the pace of the league. Right now, he looks a bit lost. And I'm not sure whether it's him or whether it's the front three who are not making the runs that he wants. Because sometimes I'm seeing he's making a pass and nobody's there, or he's looking one way and nobody's there. So it might be a combination of our front three being poor and him still finding his legs. He's a good player, so I think he'll be fine, but it's gonna take some time for him to figure it out. And unfortunately, in the midfield, he doesn't have any support, right? If Bentancur plays this defensive role and our 8 doesn't make the runs and doesn't push the ball, then Simmons is isolated at the top. So it's just him and Kudus, our only 2 outlets, basically.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think I've been impressed with Xavi. Some of his performances when he came on against Brighton, I thought he looked good. When he links up with Kudus, when Kudus drifts in, I think there's a good chemistry there. I just don't think he's found his chemistry yet with whoever's playing on the left, whether that be Odegaard or whoever, and Richarlison usually up front. Don't think he's quite on the same wavelength as them yet. I think he's a lot better when Udogie plays because Udogie does overlap. For me, yeah, just it's going to take him a while to settle. I was hoping he would come in and hit the ground running, but he hasn't. But there's definitely a player there, and we just got to give him a bit of time. The trouble is a results game, isn't it? And if he's not performing, what do we do?
Anyone else on Xavi, like in that
Yeah.
midfield.
It because the ball's not being moved at speed. It doesn't matter what number 10 you have. You can look through all the great teams who had a great number 10. They would get him the ball quick. One touch football. Let's go. And as I said, like the commentators watching the Aston Villa game, he said like Xavi's working really hard trying to get into space, and he's getting the space, but Spurs aren't finding him. And eventually that just frustrates the player. So he's going back to make tackles, but this is a thing that has happened before. Remember, that's why Harry Kane was once talked about. Could he play a number 10? Or, because for some reason, Spurs have bought midfielders who just don't want to make that eye of the needle pass to the number 10. So, like I said, with what made Kulusevski good was that you didn't need to do that. He can play ball to feet, and he would be strong enough. Maddison, if you think about it, would drop deep, real deep, to try and create something because he wasn't getting the ball. So this is an issue that has always been there. And like we mentioned earlier about playing Gray or Bergville or Sarr and, energy and everything, what that energy does, and they might just be legs, but what that legs does is they take players away. Aston Villa looks at Bentancur and Pellegrini. Where's Bentancur? Oh, he's a centre back. We're great. We've got 4 players to mark Xavi. In fact, we don't need 4. We've got 2. So basically, where's Pellegrini? Oh, he's at the halfway line. So it's only Xavi. There's no players make and run, no players going past me. I'm good. So I think Xavi, his football brain works really quickly, and the players around him don't work as quick. Kudus does, but I think other players they're too busy watching the ball instead of going, right, I'm going to make a run into space. That's what you should be doing. If any great passer of the ball, like if you talk about Messi, Ronaldo, Kevin De Bruyne, what made them good was their passing ability and finding players. But that would have been irrelevant if there was no players at the end of that ball. And the way they got to there is because they bust a gut.
You're basically saying Xavi needs someone to pass.
He needs players to run past him. Run
past him and play.
Yeah, create something. Yeah, instead of just looking and watching him.
Right. Christian, do you have a different opinion, or you got a similar opinion?
Nothing crazy. I think everyone fairly unanimous on this. In terms of Xavi, you can quite clearly tell he is not a Bruno Fernandes, even Christian Eriksen or Maddison, if we're going to talk, who happily to take 4, 5, 6 touches, happy to come in deep, pick up the ball, and start moving it themselves. He is very much 1-2 touch, move into space. Where can I next collect it from? So I think that's why it's worked with Udogie. Like was mentioned, Udogie bombs forward. So he can receive it off him, and he knows straight away that within 2 touches, he can release it straight back to him. And then he will then either do an underlap run on the inside of the fullback, or he'll find some space in the pockets, and he's got that space to move into. Like I say, he's not someone who's going to be on the ball and looking to keep it and slow things down. He, as much as he wants to be on the ball, as quick as he gets on it, he wants to be off it to then move. And if the rest of the team are not working the same way, I don't think he's going to work.
I've got a few stills. I want you guys to look at it because there was a lot of people saying that the ball wasn't finding, Xavi. And I thought when we were getting Xavi, and obviously Christian's already mentioned it, he's not that type of player, but I thought he was the player that was going to drop deep and collect the ball, sometimes pass from deep, sometimes carry it, and then sometimes you'll be higher up the pitch, just like a Roman number 10. He's got the freedom to be in the attacking phase, but he can also drop into the midfield, central mids, or he can pick it off the fullback, etc. But I'm trying to find a slide here. I think there's a slide here. I don't know if it's this particular one, but you can see that Xavi is in the midfield as well. So Xavi's in the midfield. Is it this one? Let me keep going. I'm gonna keep finding it. Yeah, even this one here. Can you see Xavi's marked by Onana? Onana is towering over him, and you've got Danso, I believe, on the ball. Now the space is in the middle. Do you guys think Xavi could drop short for the ball, or do you think Xavi should be standing there and he should receive the ball into feet in this particular position.
I think Paulinho's position's wrong.
That's what
Well, or Bentancur is supposed to ride like Bent an 8 is supposed to be in that gap, take the ball and push it.
But Bentancur's playing off the left-sided, right? That's Paulinho on the far right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Paulinho's
Paulinho,
on the far right. In the centre,
So-
in between Danso and Van der Ven
So
is
Bent-
Bentancur number 30, and then
Mhm.
Xavi's high up. He's literally just playing off the defensive line, and Onana is picked him up right in that midfield. So I'm saying, could Xavi drop deeper in between the two midfielders, or do you think Xavi should stay there? And you guys are saying Bentancur should be in the space. Is that?
I think it's Paulinho.
Was it Paulinho?
What should be happening is Paulinho or Bentancur should be bursting their gut to get in that space.
But
And that's what I'm saying.
but
Because
Porro, but Porro,
or even Paro.
because that's if you go back to the still
Yeah.
quickly 1 second because I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
noticed something. It's very. This is very similar to the argument we had a few weeks ago at West Ham, where Bergvall was sitting pretty much on Kudus' feet, and he shouldn't have been. He should have popped in the gap, and then it leaves space for Porro and hopefully Tell to push on, which then leaves Kudus isolated with whoever the left back is. I can't remember who the left back is for Villa, and that's what should have happened. But at this precise moment, Ash is correct in the sense of Xavi's in the wrong position because the ball's not there. Paulinho is actually meant to be covering for Porro, and Porro, as you can see there, is so far up, he's now inverting, which it can happen and happen in such a way. He then becomes the free man and becomes the attacking player, but what's happening here because Xavi is next to Kudus and Porro, that space is gone, which means that Xavi's actually in the wrong position.
See, I disagree, really. The reason why I disagree is, as I mentioned, Aston Villa play with 4 centre mids. That's McGinn that's behind Porro, right? He's not an out-and-out winger that's going to go crazy in that space. Now, Bentancur can't come across far. There'd be no one in the middle whatsoever. I'd like to see Paulinho come in. And Paulinho on Xavi's shoulder, Onana's too far back.
So where
There's
does
a straight pass through
so,
in.
But where does Paulinho's gone? So it's basically become a back three. It's basically that's what they've done. They've basically become a back three because Porro is meant to be the more attacking person in this scenario. Now McGinn, if that's McGinn on the left hand side between Porro and Paulinho, he'll go shut down as soon as that ball's played out to Paulinho. If it does go that way, he'll either go shut down that space. But what Xavi Simons is doing here, he's giving Onana a free ride because he's not actually moving.
But on the counter to that, is McGinn's far too far away. That's an easy pass into Paulinho, who can just open up his body, right? And they've got Kudus and Porro on a 2v1. If it goes into Porro, Xavi's already off Onana's shoulder. That's an easy one on the inside.
I agree.
And that's also getting across. And I think
isn't it also
what
really
Xavi's doing is occupying an extra player to create that space, but the players behind him are not supporting in that role.
This is where the problem comes.
Bentancur is in a position to cover that back three. If you want to play the three, it shouldn't be Paulinho. Paulinho can come forward. Danso's going to open up his body and move to the right anyway. So then Bentancur just sits in that central role. Because if Bentancur moves, Danso and Paulinho are both covering that right-hand side. And look how far Van der Ven is. Who is going to be central?
Go on, Nige. You're going to say something.
I was going to say, I mean, it's really immaterial to the picture, really. But isn't that the ideal picture? If you've got Romero now, Romero can pop that ball straight into Xavi Simons, one touch to Porro, and suddenly we're away. And, I think that's the difference in quality that we've got there. Don't get me wrong. I thought Danso had a decent game, but Romero's the kind of player that can play between the lines, and then I think Xavi's in the right position.
Yeah, because if you look at actually Danso's body shape in that picture, he's really going into Bentancur. He's not even looking at Paulinho, and he's not looking at Xavi, and that would leave McGinn completely isolated if that ball's passed through. But not to say Xavi is going to have to be strong against Onana because he's not moving. He's actually not actually moving. He's the ball's got to hopefully go into his feet.
That's a quick
Go on, carry on.
No, just I had a quick question about. So we talked about how Xavi or Oren did. He likes to play the 1-2s, quick balls. How does that work with Kudus? So that's my kind of a question because Kudus is a dribbler, right?
So for me,
He doesn't play 1-2s. He likes to take his man on, so he over dribbles at times. So that's my question: how do they play together?
So for me, I think Xavi is more of the left-sided. He builds off the left. So normally we'll see a doggy overlapping, and sometimes he will invert, and they're quite fluid in that position where they would swap in the pocket. So sometimes you'd see a doggy in the pocket, sometimes you see Xavi in the pocket, and then sometimes you might see Odobert appear in the pocket. So because they're constantly on the move, it kind of pulls the players who are man marking those players out of position, and then gaps start to open up on the right hand side, and that's when Kudos becomes free, and that's what you want, Kudos arriving into that space, and then he can get that shot off like he did when Mickey van der Ven did a quick diagonal to him. Obviously he needs to watch his line and he goes offside, but he takes that down first time, he gets his shot off, it goes in the back of the net. So I think it was Nigel Marlon that was saying that, or maybe Christian, we were missing the doggy on that side, and that's where we gave license to Xavi to roam. And as you saw on that right hand side, it wasn't quite right in terms of his positioning, where to be found. And I felt like at times as a number 10, you can drop in a little bit deep, ask different questions. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he was in the right position if Romero was on the pitch, but then it's about learning his squad. I think because he's quite new and he hasn't played with Danso before in a real life situation. Equally, let me really go to Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa defended really well because, as Christian said, they normally have 4 midfielders. And what they do is they have like a box midfield. Their 2 strikers didn't press our centre backs all the time. They kind of sat off, let Bentancur drop in between the 2 centre backs, and then they outnumbered us in central areas. And so therefore, there was no space for our midfielders to play through the central areas. And we were forced to go out wide, in my opinion, from what I saw. So go on,
Ash, to play devil's advocate, I mean, we've had similar issues in most of the games, right? Like maybe not specifically this game, like exactly the same issue, but our issues are like against the Wolves, but like we see similar, or at least I could be wrong, but I'm seeing
you're
similar
right.
issues.
That is the pattern of play at the moment. Is to
So it's not about Villa's midfield per se. It's about something that we are doing, whether it's the tactics or lack of quality.
No,
but
100%.
something is going on.
No, you're right. I think that is the tactic, to go wide, to have double width. And I agree with Christian. I think at times, Frank, and I said this before on other shows, we can't always go for that route where we do the horseshoe. We try to pull. It's not even a horseshoe. What we're trying to do is play around the central block. And why we play it around and do the horseshoes? Because we're trying to move them from right to left, to pull them from one position to the other position, to create gaps on the other side. But I think you can't always do that tactic. You can't always play over the press in terms of playing into the channels, playing into the flanks when we're building up from the back and we're trying to go long and we're trying to go direct real quick. Sometimes we do need to play central, like Christian was saying, just to keep them guessing and just to mix up our game. Otherwise, Frank will become very predictable, in my opinion, and we will be easy to play against. So there are times, and I'm going to show this clip here, not clip, but this picture, where you do see Xavi dropping in. But what happens is Xavi drops in, and I haven't got the rest of the clip, but it actually turns into the horseshoe. We actually start to play from right to left. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to playing through the central area. And as you can see here, as I said before, there's a box midfield. You've got Rogers, number 27, and you've got Marlon. You can see his Barlet there, isn't it? Yeah. Then you've got number 44, which is Kamara, and you've got Nana, the Black Don, yeah, right there. So there's a box. You can see the box. Our 3 midfielders are there. But for me, there should be someone on the left-hand side. So one of the midfielders should be on that halfway line to create space, to be a bit wider. I think they're a little bit too narrow, and that's why Aston Villa find it easy for us to defend against. You know what I mean? And I think that's where maybe Emery got the tactics spot on. Sorry, God.
But here's the thing: like if you put the screen up again, just real quickly.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's very cool to see. See what it is. I think that those 2 midfield players have the ability to look up and go, right, we're going to make a run forward. Just make a run forward to drag, to disrupt that play. But if you look at them, you know, Pelini is going to obviously, he passed the ball, but again, I don't mean to keep bringing up Bentancur, but there he is. I don't think his job, like if he's meant to be like a player who advance, he's already deep, he's deeper. So therefore, when Xavi dropped deep, he needs to have runners on. Now, I understand the control of the game and playing against Aston Villa, but I know that if that was a Gray, Bergville, or Sarr, they would have been running forward. Because it's not what all I'm saying is that as a football player, you're taught to run into space. And I'm not seeing enough of that from Spurs players so far. And again, you can have, you know, Xavi I think is really good, but when I watched him at RB Leipzig, he had players running into space. That you shouldn't need to say, right, oh, I know what you're capable of doing now. As a natural football player, especially if you're an attacker, you should want to run into space. Even as a defender, if we've all played football, we don't run it. We don't run into an area where there's a couple of people.
Do you know what's funny? Sorry to cut you. Do you know what's funny?
Right.
Xavi Simons played in a similar system to what Emre was doing under RB Leipzig, and meaning that he played with a 4-2-2-2. It's almost like a narrow midfield, like where you've got the midfielders. He would play off the left, but really he's playing centrally. Do you know what I mean? And the right. So similar to what McGinn's playing on the left, but you wouldn't say McGinn's a left side of midfield, a left winger, would you?
Yeah.
You'd say no, McGinn's more of a left midfielder, and he tucks in all the time. So that's what Xavi was playing at RB Leipzig. But now in this system, we're playing him higher up as a 10, giving him a bit more freedom. But I think the instruction needs to be like, times you need to drop in, and then maybe the striker, he drops as well, and then the other wingers, they run in behind, they stretch the play. Do you know what I'm saying? And at times, one of the wingers, like a Kudos, I think someone's mentioned it already, he could drop central into that kind of midfield role. Do you know what I'm saying? So then you've got an extra midfielder, and we outnumber the players in the midfield centrally. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm talking way too much.
No, it's simple. Pass and move. That's what. When we watch like Bournemouth, how did Bournemouth beat Spurs? Players pass and move, ran blood and guts for each other. If we remember Poch, what Poch had those players doing was running through walls for each other, passing and moving. Ericsson would look up. He didn't even need to look up because he knew Dele Alli would make a run from in to out, looking for a ball. You're not seeing that. And that's my point.
Is that down to the quality though? Because the players you're mentioning there, like Ericsson, Ali.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
we haven't got them. When you look at our squad, you're talking about runners like Sarr, great. They're runners, but not trusted on the ball. Bergvall misplaces too many passes. Paulinho can't pass the ball around into the half space. Not Paulinho, Bentancur, sorry.
Yeah,
so we don't have that to pass.
But that's the thing. I think
not need the players for it.
I think that those players can do that. I would not say, I wouldn't even bring Bergville, Gray, or Sarr.
When you say think they can do that, we've never seen them do it in a Spurs shirt. So what
exactly. So we don't know why.
We've not seen them do it at international level.
It's back to the mentality. That's what I'm trying to say. It's back to the mentality, because it's not like we haven't seen these players done it. They have done it. They just don't do it enough or consistently. That's my point. Because
so are they good enough is the question.
Well, they should be good enough, but again, what I'm saying is you can have the talent, but if you don't have the mentality, that's going to be the problem.
But this might not be down to mentality. This is down to their quality.
But it's down to their mentality because
they can't do it on a consistent basis. It means they don't have the quality to do it on a consistent basis.
No, they don't have the. If you don't have the quality, then you won't be able to do it in the first place. That's my point.
That's not true.
It is true. If you don't have the quality to do something, you can't do it in the first place. If you're not,
because I could sit there and do 3 good passes a game, but it doesn't mean I can go and do that on a consistent basis that I can pull off.
That's what I'm saying. But you should
Morgan Rogers is not going to pull off that shot 9 times out of 10, is he? He's going to pull it off.
But he has the quality to do it, and he had the bravery to do it.
Yeah, once.
And that's why he does it.
Yeah, but once in his whole career.
He still had the bravery to look up and try it.
But he won't do it again this season.
How do you know?
Because we know, because we've seen it.
But what do you mean you've seen it? It's like 8 games in. So if he doesn't score another long,
no, but Morgan Rogers has played enough games for me to know, and I can base it on the games that he has played, that he won't hit another shot.
How many opportunities has he had?
A few, and it's probably gone into Rose End.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to. He
But
has
this
the
one
quality.
happened to go in the back of the net. But what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying
has
is,
the quality. But he
no,
has the
but
mindset to
his
try it.
quality is not striking the ball. His
But
quality
what I'm
is
saying
other
is
parts of his game.
his quality. He believes in himself, and he's going to get better. Harry Kane had the quality, and he had the mentality. All great players have the quality and the mentality. That's
Yeah,
the
but,
thing.
but you're talking about you're going now between players that have become like a world class to players that
every
players
player,
that like
but
players that
every player
we've
has
got.
to become world class, and they become world class because they get better because of their
Yeah, but
mentality.
there's not many people like that.
Wait.
There's
So
not,
do you think Tel's mentality will take him up to that level then? Because everyone says he's got a great mentality.
he's got the mentality. Has he got the quality?
Well, if he practices hard enough and works his ass off, then yeah.
It's not that simple. Like Bentancur is 27, 28. He's not
28.
going to change. He is who he is.
Yeah.
So, and that's why to me it's crazy that we gave him an extension or a new contract, given we know what he is and who he is, and we obviously need an upgrade. But I mean, to your point, I guess I see what Orange's trying to say. Like, you need to be uh, brave
brave on the
sometimes
ball.
and take chances.
Yeah.
Like with Bergval, he makes mistakes, but at least I can see he's brave. He takes chances, like Sar as well. Sar goes and he takes those shots. Are they all going to go in? No, but once in a while they will, and it takes some guts to do it.
Yeah.
And
But Sar doesn't.
Bentancur seems
But
like he
Sar
just
doesn't have the
plays the
quality,
safe
though,
pass
does
every
he?
time.
Yeah, but Sar doesn't have the quality to produce that on a consistent basis. Hence the reason
Of
why.
course, but once in a while it happens.
It happens.
But with
That's what I'm
Bentancur, it
saying.
never happens because he never tries it.
I disagree, man. I think the Bentancur thing, he's the new scapegoat on the block. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But what does he
Because
offer?
under Conte, when we used to press, he was the furthest person on the pitch. Sometimes he was past the striker. He was leading the press. How many times did we see it? How many times we saw a few times where he'd break in and score a Dele-esque goal where he'd arrive late with a header. We've seen it, right?
Yeah.
That previous screen that we saw, to me, again, we can't keep blaming the players, and sometimes we do have to blame the manager. And my question to you guys is, have we gone from Ange having no structure to Frank having too much structure? Because in that screenshot we just saw is no one comes, you see Xavi drop, so who then comes in to take his role? Why is Porro saying, I've got 3 centre midfielders right next to me, let me move forward, and then Kudos comes in and plays the Xavi role?
But that Bentancur, we haven't seen in 2 years or 3 years after that big injury, even under Ange, completely different style.
No, we didn't see under Ange.
Still did this.
I totally get that, but I fail to believe that an injury stops him making those decisions. Now, what an injury can make him do is stop him going into tackles, right? And he could be less confident in that. It may affect his speed and mobility, but he would still make the runs. Might not be as good, but it'd still move forward, right? I think the whole team structurally have been told not to vacate, and Paulinho and Bentancur's initial thought is, right, where are Porro and where are Spence or where are Doji? Because we saw another screenshot where Bentancur was left back. We've seen Paulinho play right back. So now if you're asking them to cover the centre of the park, you're asking them to cover the fullbacks, and you're asking them to make forward runs, you ain't getting that. I don't care if you got Kevin De Bruyne, Andre Pirlo, Kaká, it ain't happening. You can't get them to do that too much. So again, it goes back to that question is, are we too structured? Where as soon as one player vacates, no one else takes that responsibility.
Do you know what I think? I think we were in the transition between what happened under Lange and Ange and the whole contingent, do you know what I'm saying? That whole structure, because we went fully like eucentric, meaning that we went for players that had little to no experience in a top elite league in the Premier League, physical, mentally, in terms of speed, etc., and just know-how. You look at Wilson Odobert. Obviously, he had a season at Burnley. They got relegated. He went down to the Championship. He was our most experienced player out of those young players. You've got Bergval, who never played in a top flight league before. Do you know what I'm saying? You had Archie Gray, who came from the Championship, that hadn't got many minutes underneath his belt in terms of the position that he actually wants to play. Then you've got Matthias Tell, who played in the academy level for Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean? Hasn't had that many first team minutes at the Bundesliga, let alone coming into a Premier League team where we're aiming for Champions League. Do you understand? So I've mentioned 4 players. I know there's more. There's Kinski. There's other players as well that we had last season. But basically, the ones that have continued over to this season, they've been affecting the way we play, because if you've got a Tell that's meant to be holding up the ball to help to get the team up the pitch, or you've got Tell that's mishitting those shots. He's a bit low on confidence. He's not quite getting it through his foot. And he's meant to be our talisman in terms of helping us to get through while Richarlison's recovering from minutes, who also isn't on form. Then you've got Wilson Odobert, who's not as brave as a Kudos. His decision-making isn't quite there. That's going to affect the overall forward position of the team, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the reason why this season we went for Prem proven, because we realized we went too far one way, and now you're seeing players like Kudos and Panina, they're our best players. Why is that? Because they've got experience, they've got hours, they've got minutes under their belts, playing at that level, that speed and expectation. Do you know what I'm saying? These other kids on the other side, the left-hand side, Xavi included, he hasn't got that same experience. Do you understand? And you're actually seeing it play out in real time. So I think if we were to add to that, in my opinion, we might see a better output, a better structure. Some people argue that maybe, you could disagree with this, maybe if Solanke or Kulusevski came back in the side, the team would look slightly different in terms of holding the ball up, playing others into it, passing and moving, like what Oren's talking about. So, no, I could be wrong.
No, it's making sense. But like to Christian's point about Bentancur, I agree, Christian, with everything you said. My whole point is, under Ange, completely different system, and I still saw the same issues where every time that we have a chance to break, he takes the ball instead of just making, a through pass. He looks around and passes the ball back, whether it's under Frank or last season or season before. So I don't think it's the instructions. I don't know why, but the mentality, like every time against Wolves, against other teams, like just pass the ball forward, right? Like we're in a counter, we have a chance to break, and he just doesn't do it. So I don't know if it's bravery or I don't think it's the instructions from Ange and Frank.
To be fair with Yuji, sorry to cut Yuji.
Yep.
At Villarreal, it was Bentancur in the midfield, wasn't it? It was Bentancur, Sarr, and Bergvall. So it was the 2 youngsters and Bentancur. And I think for West Ham, it was Paulinho, and it was, I can't remember the other 2 midfielders, but
Bergvall.
Yeah, Bergvall.
Yeah.
So maybe Eugene might have a slight point there. Is it maybe the only way we will know is maybe tomorrow when we play Monaco?
I don't know, Ash.
Bentancur come out, and then we see. I'm just throwing.
No. I hear what you're saying, but
It's also a question.
but
I'm just asking why.
before West Ham's red card, I'd argue we didn't create anything clear cut.
Is that argument too? I don't know. I thought we started off the second half a bit stronger in that game against West Ham, because I think
we did. But that's the thing.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, sorry, Ash, for cutting you off. The reason why Spurs weren't creating before was because they didn't have a number 10, and we were asking Bergvall, or Spurs were asking Bergvall to play as a number 10, or asking Sarr to play as a number 10.
Yeah,
that's the reason why. But what those players showed or did was they made runs into the box, and that's what we're talking about. I'm not asking Benton, or I'm not saying that, yes, we've been talking about Bentancur. It's the fact that what is happening in that midfield is that there's 2 players who are too defensive. And I don't believe that Frank has said to both of them, I both want you to sit back and defend. He's probably said to Palhinha, you are the enforcer, you sit back. Bentancur, you get forward. But, and this is again, I've noticed, and if Bentancur plays tomorrow, I'm sure you'll watch the match, watch it. He always starts off attacking, supporting the front players, and then he'll slowly divert backwards. And he does. It's like when he gets tired, his natural instinct is to go backwards and start passing backwards. And when you're in the pitch, it's like no matter what you're trying to tell the player, if he's not willing to do it, he's not willing to do it. And with
at the time to make a sub though.
Yeah, but it's hard to do you make a sub at 35 minutes in the first half? Or you tell him Can you do it?
It's not
Because
usually that. It's usually around the 50, 60 minute mark. You can tell.
no, that's what I'm saying though. I've noticed that Bentancur gets tired, fatigued midway through the first and second half.
Yeah.
And again, it might be his injury. It might be what he has to do.
Because
But
he's not
it's
the same for Uruguay, by the way. This is what everyone's talking about. He's totally different for Uruguay.
Yes,
This is why I'm with Christian, and he's becoming a scapegoat. But if I look at the away games that we've played, the Leeds, it was Bentancur and Paulinho. We were good. Everyone was happy. Manchester City was Paulinho and Bentancur. We were good. When we came back against Brighton, it was Paulinho and Bentancur. No one was complaining then. It's the home, we're at home, where people are complaining.
Yeah,
but it all comes down to, actually, is it down to what our front three is producing more than anything else?
And Marlon, just to add to your point, sorry, Oren.
No, go ahead.
Just real quick. Uruguay, he plays with Valverde and he plays with Ugarte.
Yeah.
Right? Ugarte's fallen off, but nevertheless, two very, very mobile players. Right? So has he been misprofiled by putting him in with Paulinho, who has very good game IQ and can cover the pitch, but that's totally different to mobility.
Do you know what? You know what's funny? Just before it comes or anyone else comes in, I was going to share this here. I don't know if you can see that, but basically this is the average position of each team and each player, and you can see number 30 is Bentancur. So by the looks of it, obviously he dropped in between the centre backs. It was often that I saw in a game, number 6, which is Paulinho, he was the one that went further forward to win the ball higher up, to be almost like a battering ram.
Yeah.
And then that kind of broke to one of our players, and then we would be on the front foot because we're winning the ball higher up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because they want Bentancur to go and win the ball, go get the ball off of Danso, and then him to play the ball out, and which he was, because he was playing it, and what people don't realise, he was playing it a lot to Kudus and Odegaard. It was just then down to what they did next, which completely messed up, because Tell wasn't really offering much in the first half.
But that's
most of the time,
I don't know if he was actually playing those balls too.
He was, because he was
playing
most of the time.
sideways.
Everyone said Odegaard had such a great game. Me, not personally. But
No, I'm talking about Bentancur stuff.
But Bentancur would pick it up, and then it would go. That's where it go through the lines, and it would end up on the left, because basically Villa went, Odegaard's not doing anything, and left space on the left, but wouldn't double up on Kudus, and that was what the problem was. That was the bigger issue in this, in all of this. Personally,
I feel like Bentancur is getting a lot of stick tonight, and I'm just like you said, Marlon, away from home is working. Is this just not a home thing? Is the team, are we fearful at home? Because, like I say, five wins in 20 home games. You know, the fans, you can tell the tension in the ground. As soon as we concede, we go to pot. Is this not just a home thing where we are, for whatever reason, whether it's tactically that we just want to keep it tight, or whether it's mentality that we're just scared to push too much? Because, like I say, away from home, they're doing great.
Whose fault is that then? Because you're saying, what would you change them for? You're saying you want to keep with Bentancur, you want to keep with Paulinho. They're not the problem. We can't go into the window right now because we're in the season, right? We're not going into the window till January. So right now, in our next home game, how do you fix the home solution then? How do you get us winning from home again? What do we do different?
3-5-2, you dog in.
Yeah, you play with two tens.
I'll tell you what,
You play with two tens with Kudus and Simmons as tens, and if Solanke is back as a 9. So at least try that. It's going to give Simmons more space and Kudus more space to operate. And see that.
Say again.
Just play two tens. Simmons,
left
10, and Kudus as the right 10, and just let them operate. I don't know. Try something different. Like
crazy
our issue
thought.
is we're not gonna solve our issues with our, terrible front 3 or front 2 until Jan. So until then, we need to figure something out. So if this is not working, at least if we're not gonna get goals from midfield, just at least try something else. Because I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think we're gonna be able to win 1-0 games until January, scoring from set pieces. That's just not sustainable.
I agree with you partly.
Try two tens.
Is it not?
I agree with you. Maybe not two tens though. Maybe I would bring Kudus into the 10, because I think as good as he is on the right, I think he's our main threat. And if we get him in the 10, he is a player that can hold the ball up. And if he can get it in turn, he can drive at defences. Maybe play Xavi off the left. And a crazy thought, I know he does nothing else but score goals. Maybe get Johnson on the right, because at least he gets in the box.
I think he'd weaken both wings, though, personally.
Yeah. I just think
Possibly.
we've got a manager that hasn't changed formation, hasn't changed tactics. So we're thinking too far out of the box.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be a slight tactical change where actually the midfield is staying as it is? He likes it. He's told us, just release Porro and Spence.
Do you think
let Danso split?
Do you think Spence might be the actual issue in this though? What I mean by that is you saw what Udogie was doing against Leeds, and he was far up, and you saw what he was doing in the friendlies, and he hasn't really had a chance to use Udogie as far forward. And if you watch any Brentford from the last 2 seasons, they like to score their goals from the wings, not through the middle. Is that what the issue is? Because like you said, to free Spence up, Spence was barely past the halfway line, which is unusual for him.
And neither was Porro.
Yeah, and to be fair, neither was Porro. And maybe that's what the issue is here, is that we're not getting our wingers involved in the game too much and pushing them up at home.
You're saying put the wingers in this position. So let's have Tell, say it's Tell for now. Odegaard tucks in his half space in the pocket.
Yep.
Ross is in the pocket here. And you're saying keep the wide players.
Not once, because if you watch against Leeds, that's exactly where Destiny was. Destiny was always in that position. Yeah.
Push Bentancur and Paulinho here, maybe one slightly more aggressive, like Bentancur slightly forward, and then Xavi's roaming.
Because if you look at how many shots Bentancur and Paulinho actually had from the edge of the box, they probably had most of them on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they are pushing forward.
Or even it's like you have Odegaard here and Spence, but you just have Kudus tuck in. So you don't have.
But Kudus don't want to do that, does he? Really? Because Kudus wants to be left isolated with.
Yeah, he wants to be here.
He wants to be out there.
Yeah,
so that's where Porro needs to probably, unfortunately, be inverted in that situation.
Yeah, because what I realized, he wasn't getting many. He had no take-ons. He didn't get a single take-on. All of his take-ons failed. I think he only won out of 12 duels. I think he only won 3. He had a poor game, Kudus, in terms of what he brought him to do, like 1v1. Just in this game in particular, I'm a Kudus fan.
He was never 1v1 though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon, like, but it's all clear. Just pass and fucking move. That's all. That's all it is. Pass and move.
The problem you had on Sunday. The problem that we had on Sunday is exactly what Christian said at the beginning. They had 4 central midfielders. Pass and move is not going to be. You could do that, but the problem here is we had no width, and we weren't putting crosses into the box. We weren't quick enough doing that because at the end of the day, there was this big wall, and this is what's happening at home with every team that we played. There's this big wall that we can't break down because it's literally a big wall across the middle. And then Kudus wants to take on a man before he crosses it into the box, unfortunately. And Odegaard just can't. He's got no end product.
Yeah, so like...
And then we've got no one in the middle anyway because Richarlison...
But I'm saying, look at the box. Look at this box here. Yeah? Rodgers, midfielder. Kamara, midfielder. Sometimes what happened was Xavi was in between these two, Onana on him and Kamara. So, you know, when you've got a pass and move, when you're playing football and your line of vision is blocked, meaning this man's pressing you here, this man's, do you know what I'm saying? And this man steps in front. Like, how do you get that pass in? Even sometimes it was Rodgers that would tuck in and Onana would, you know, drop off here, or Konza would be aggressive.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Then, like, that box there, what I'm saying is, where's the pass and move?
Yeah, but what I'm referring to is that, like, obviously, in that situation, it's going to be more difficult. But I'm saying when you have the opportunity to set something up, and even if it's if a low block or whatever, I mean, Pep Guardiola is a master at it. You know, he was always say the ball is going to always be faster than the man. Use the ball, getting to space.
I hear that, but when everything's blocked,
what I'm saying is, if right, okay, so
Man City have changed that this season, by the way.
No, it's run
massively changed it.
Yeah, what I'm saying about pass and move is that move as well. So Till should be moving between the spaces. Odegaard, you know, Kudus making.
Yeah, I agree. Tell wasn't doing that. Tell was dropping off here because he's comfortable in the space.
Yeah, Tell wasn't doing it.
So,
And then Spence was further back because Odobert was in this space here.
Yeah.
But
But like the thing is with Spence as well, he has to cut in.
Yeah. Spence is meant to cut in sometimes, and sometimes
Again, what I noticed as well is that what happened to, if you have players who are busting, like when it goes out wide to Kudus or Odobert or Spence, right?
Mm.
If they look up and they see only Till in that penalty area, there's no one to cross to. So again, that's the thing. That's what I think that.
Yeah, that's saying Vince was get to be in the box here. Tell needs to be.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, we have talked about Bentancur a lot, but we're talking about like
in
he
general
should be able to just get in the box, and that's what it is to create that. Because Spence might not be left-footed, but he can stop the ball. If he looks up, he can still whip a ball in, and that's another thing that's noticed as well. So what I'm saying is like there's not enough players busting the gut to get in the penalty area, attacking the space, and that's yes, you might not be able to get the ball to them, but it's still dragging a midfield player away, or dragging another person away, and that's what I'm noticing. There's not enough Spurs players who want to. Like there was a moment where I think it was Spence running down the right or the left, sorry, and Odobert was just like running alongside him. He wasn't bursting to getting behind or changing his direction, and it was very easy to mark. So when Villa looks at Spurs and the centre backs looks at Spurs, they're like, this is easy. There's no one running behind us. There's no one cutting in. Yes, the Van de Ven pass, and even that was offside. That was the only time it was tried. I'm like, just keep trying it. You have to take risk, and if they don't pay off, that's fine. But it's all about keeping the defenders guessing. Once defenders set up and know exactly what's going to happen, that's why it's so easy to play against Richarlison, because he's not going to run in behind you. He's not going to dribble past you. So basically, as a defender, I'm looking and going, this is easy. When I was defender looking at Xavi, just keep him here. What about the midfielders running past me? There isn't going to be anyone.
And what's happening with Poirot? Like, I'm confused because I haven't seen him.
Basically,
like,
what happened?
He's not impacting games as I'm used to him doing offensively in the attack. He's just like lost for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so I thought at the start of the season, what I noticed was Frank was using one fullback at a time. When Ange went with both fullbacks with Bomb on, this time Frank was a bit more pragmatic. So he played with a back three where Porro would be the more reserved out of the fullbacks and he would kind of drop into the three. But I think in this game here in particular, we're seeing less overlapping from Porro. Porro is more coming into the pocket, and when we're playing a low block, when teams like to drop in deep, Porro is meant to be the one that hits the ball diagonally. Do you know what I mean? And finds that play. There was times when we tried to hit that transition ball when Porro tried to do it in the second half when we were 2-1 down and we were trying to get the ball into Mawani, for example, and it just wasn't quite getting there. But you're right, man. Overall, we're not really seeing the best of Porro doing that Trent role, playing those balls over. Because when I first saw the lineup and I heard Romero was out, I was like, uh-oh, we've got no progressive passer. Like, then I was like, oh yeah, we got Porro.
And Kudus,
but then,
they're not overlapping enough for me, like, because Porro is a crosser, like, so Kudus should be making those runs inside with Porro going wide and crossing the ball. But for some reason, it's just give the ball to Kudus and watch him do something on his own. And Porro is MIA. Like,
Eugene, the manager's got him on chains.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
There's no one in the box, though. There's no one attacking the box. There's not enough players in the box.
Well, Borin, this is like, you make really good points, and where you was explaining like moving in the box and stuff, I totally agree. Where I'm struggling to sort of get to that point is we struggle to get it in the final third. So how are they going to get to the box? We still need to break that first line. Especially at Villa, we couldn't get past. When we did get past the halfway line, it was just barely over.
Do you know what I think it was as well? And I forgot to mention this. I think playing out the back had something to do with it as well, because there was too many times when we tried to play it out short and it wasn't working, and Villa just had us pressed and they were forcing us down one side. And then I think Bentancur, he went slightly out wide, and that's when he got caught because he kind of dwindled on the ball a bit. I don't know if you guys remember. Then he
corner.
Yeah, he made a corner out of it because he passed it. He didn't quite get it to Vicky Van de Ven. Do you know what I mean? But when really what he should have done is if he's pulling out wide, he's got to do a bounce pass first time into Spence, because Spence sometimes would tuck in, or if Spence was behind him, not behind him, in front of him, you need to do a ball first time over the top to Spence down the line for Spence to receive. And then someone like what Oren's saying needs to run, pass and move, because he creates an angle for someone like Odobert to receive the ball. There wasn't enough triangles or enough rondos where we've had 3 or 4 players crowding that area to play out of the press, because remember, Villa always had a high line. They always pressed us. They tried to squeeze the pitch and make that midfield non-existent because their line was high. They pressed when we played out from the back. And sometimes Vicario, when he did try to go long, it wouldn't stick to Tel. So either way, like we were doing
it's a free bar.
It's a bit of a structural problem from Frank, but equally Marlon is right, because you look at the players that we have, and I just right. You look at the front line, what we have, and you need them to be able to look after the ball, protect the ball, to help us to progress up the pitch.
There's
a question I'd have, Ash, to yourself and Marlon, right? Is we question, rightfully so, by the way, the attack is not good enough apart from Gudos, right? But when and I'm not a data person, I don't like this XG, but I have to bring it up. Is how would you feel as a striker or a forward knowing you're going to get 0.4 GA?
Crazy.
Like no passing, no. Yeah. Again, it plays a part. Like you, as a striker, you stop running. Like I said this before I go, there's one thing that I don't think I've ever seen happen in a football match. The 10 minutes it took Frank to bring on substitutions. Like, while that was happening, both stripped down. Frank is going through his tactic board, and I think it was 3 times. I think the ball went out of play twice, and there was a corner that they could have been brought on. And what was really interesting, I was watching the match and I'm thinking, right, Perro gets thrown in another dugout. Perro can see substitution. He looks back. Ready? No, okay, let's play on. Gets it again, looks back, holds the ball for a little bit longer, and he's like, you ready? No. And I'm like, okay, why couldn't have this been done 5 minutes before they were coming on? Like, actually before they're coming on? And then, as I was watching it, I thought, Villa's going to score. Any money. Because I had a corner, and then that ball, yes, how they scored was great, but, and then it's like, well, what's the point? Because every single thing you've told Richarlison and Bergville is gone out the window. So, when it comes to Frank, I think he's been, in that case, too tactical. Just get these, just, if I'm convinced, if he'd have brought those players on just before that, it would have disrupted. You know what I mean? It would have disrupted things a little bit.
The goal wouldn't have happened if he brought him on.
Pardon?
You don't think that goal would have happened that way?
I don't think it would have happened in that way.
Yeah,
I mean, because
like the Bundesliga ball.
Yeah, I know. But
I said, I didn't even know he had that in his locker.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Bergville or Richard, what I'm saying, it would have disrupted the play a little bit, and maybe that wouldn't have happened. But it just had a sense that it would happen. But again, you know, the commentators are praising, oh, look at him showing. I'm like, this is a waste of fucking time. You're wasting 10 minutes. And then you had Donzo, like you said, cleaning the ball like it was his baby, which took up even more time. And you're like, right, how, you know, so I do understand that if Frank is given instructions to slow the game down, to preserve leads or whatever, I'm not saying that it's not his doing as well, and because I think it's a continuity thing. But yeah, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that. Like, I'd like to hear it. What did you think about the 10-minute substitution?
Yeah, so for me,
tactics and everything.
Do you know what it was? I think Frank was he didn't want to make a substitution during a set piece, meaning a corner. So he was like, no, I'm not going to do it then. And then I think there was a period where we had the ball and he was like, let me see what happens. Let me see if it comes to something. And then that's why he was holding it off. And then there was another reason. I should have written it down.
But what I'm saying is
there was a throw in before the corner.
Yeah, the camera panned to Frank, and he's showing Richarlison, and then he had Bergville over showing them tactic boards. So it wasn't like he was looking at the game.
Wani, isn't it? Both on Wani, yeah. So who did they?
No, it was Richarlison and Bergville first, and then Mwani came on first. Yeah. But the camera panned to him, and he's showing them tactics. So it's not like he's paying attention to the game and going, right, Wait till see. He's actually his eyes is off the game, and he's showing Richarlison tactics board. And I'm like, why is he showing Richarlison tactics board? Richarlison doesn't know about tactics. As soon as he crosses that line, he'll forget about it. There's absolutely no point.
But Byron, just to add to your question is, so the length of it's a problem.
Yeah.
I can probably agree. But then Xavi didn't have the best game, right? But you leave your attacking players on when you're chasing. You've seen that you've just gone down 2-1. Why is he swapping Xavi for Bergvall and Tell for Richie? I can understand the Tell one, but surely it should have been Bentancur or Paulinho that came off for Bergvall.
For sure. That's the biggest issue for me. Like, that didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Afterwards, he said, like, I did what I did. I don't know.
He stands on business. I give him that.
Wait, that's what he said? He just said, I did what I did. That's it. No other explanation.
You didn't have it to that. He said, nah.
No, I'm just like,
I
I'm just wondering, like, because to me, it's just like some things. I'm not a tactical or a coach. I only coach under 11s. So you know, but there's some like common sense things that I'm just wondering about. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there was an explanation for why. But it just, to me, it doesn't register. Like, why? It's like when Conte, remember Milan game, we were down 1 goal and he brought in Davidson Sanchez. And I was like, wait, what? How does that make sense? Somebody explain it to me. Same thing. If we're chasing the game, why take off attacking players and leave Bentancur and Paulinho, as Christian said? Like, makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know, because I saw like Emre, he went for it. He kind of brought on what's his face? The striker.
Watkins.
Watkins.
And Buendia, isn't it? Buendia, very technical, good on the ball.
To get a third goal.
Experienced. And then obviously we did what we did, innit? And I was just like,
why are you showing Richarlison tactics? You can tell Richarlison looking like, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm just gonna pretend. And again, it's like
just gonna run around.
Yeah, why not bring, like, I still think you should play Johnson as a number 9.
I've got something. Maybe look at Tell defensively, like out of possession. Maybe he looked at Richarlison and he thought, out of possession, he wins the ball in this area. I need you to drop in here to win it back.
But he doesn't.
I don't know. I'm just
he just runs around. He just like
he's got more of a needle than Tell, isn't it? Like in terms of like off the ball, a bit more.
Don't get wrong, Richarlison, you know, he went away to Brazil, got his hair dyed and all, so he's probably feeling good. You know what I mean? But he came on, and I was just like, what's he gonna do? Like
madness. No, I can't lie, but I think you know what I think he's still learning. That's what I would say. You know, Richarlison or Richard, his days are numbered, isn't it? But I think in terms of Tommy, the tank engine, I don't know if we can still call him that. Yeah. I still think he's learning.
He's learning about these players.
He's learning the team. Meaning, like he's learning his players because he's been in this league, and there's no excuse, like to not know what to do, like to have that length in terms of not bringing on the players quick enough. It's inexcusable, really. I was trying to make logic of it, of maybe why he did it. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just trying to think maybe this is the reason.
Well, I get it. I think he looks at Richarlison as like, you're a Brazilian number 9. You should have the intelligence to understand these tactics. But
he's not Brazilian. He's Bolivian.
He's can't call him.
Do you think
Brazil's other options?
He's not Brazilian, my friend.
Even when he was at Everton, as soon as my man came back,
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, when Calvert-Lewin come back, he pushed him to left straight
left.
Off you go. So that should tell you everything. Yeah.
Like the biggest question, I was just like, I guess maybe I'm so negative. I just don't see anything changing. Like I'm looking at what we've got, and I'm like, and we've had the easier part of our schedule, so the games are gonna get tougher, and I just don't see how things are gonna change because we saw the same issues against weaker teams. So that's my problem. It's like I don't see a solution where just do this and that's it. Like I feel like we're gonna be struggling until we bring in at least 2 more players. Like right, we need a left winger, and of course we need that 8.
Home or away or both?
Was that?
Not home or away, or was that both?
Well,
has Spurs played well away? Like,
but I mean, again, is we're scoring on set pieces and deflections.
I'm not talking about performance right now. I'm talking about like just getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? Until January, like As in,
But it's not sustainable. That's my fear. So we're getting the job done. Like, if we're Arsenal, let's get the 3 points. We have a good team. Let's just go for the title. That's one thing. But for us, we're in a different, it's a different scenario. We need to actually.
What do we want as a fan base, though? Eugene, what do you want as a fan? What do we want? Because last season we were getting beat every week. Every week we were getting beat. 20 shots against us. It was embarrassing. This year, we're in the top 6. Okay, we've lost a couple of games. Home form is poor. But we're doing all right. We look solid enough. We finished 17th last season. It's not going to happen overnight. He's not going to click his fingers. It's all going to be magic.
Nigel,
He's 8 games into a Premier League season.
Just a quick question, Nigel, right? After Angie's first 10 games, what was your thoughts?
Oh, I was all in.
Was you sold?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking because I had this discussion with a few friends, right? And I was always I was like you, I was bought in. I was like, he's the best thing, like so happy. And everyone was telling me, oh, it's not sustainable. Look how open he is. And he was proved right. So my question back to them now, because it's turned U-turn, is these results masking a performance that's not sustainable?
What Spurs fans want is both. Spurs fans deserve both. Attack when you're in top, defend when you need to. That's what made the PSG game so good.
That's
Spurs
the question. That's the question. That's not, he's not asking that.
What's the question?
What Spurs fans want.
That's what I'm saying. I think that as a football fan,
he said, "Is
when you want both?"
No. Oren, answer the question. He said, "Is it sustainable?"
What Frank's doing?
What Frank's doing? The way we're playing, the performances that we're playing at this rate.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not sustainable. And that, but that's what I'm saying. It's like if Frank wants to keep, it's far too early. But I don't think Frank is playing. I don't think Frank has got his full system. He's still learning about his players. But I think I've seen glimpses of Spurs playing both ways, being attacking and then learning how to defend. I've seen that.
What's our most attacking game, for example? Where's the moment where you thought, right, this is the attacking,
That's a good question. West Ham. I think West Ham, it was kind of, again,
was it like what Eugene was saying? Not Eugene, sorry. Christian was saying when we went down to 10 men, that's the only time we went a bit more attacking.
Yeah, I guess it's like, yeah. Well, I think that, it's a tough question. I think that's what I'm saying as well. That's what I ask. It's like, we talk about the away form, but has the away form been really spectacular? Is it like, are we watching like, why can't they? I mean, they drew against what was it again the last time? Struggled against Villarreal. I mean, Villarreal, if they put away the chances, Spurs would have probably lost. So I just don't. Yeah, it's difficult to understand what Frank is wanting because it's second guessing. But I think that Frank right now is just being too tactical, and he should just let the players play. But if he's thinking, if I just let the players play, we'll have a Hanji, because we saw that. So it's a hot horror.
It's the quality too, right?
Yeah, Angie is free to take charge. So if Frank gets sacked, we can bring Angie back. he's got Polinia. So,
guys, just before I leave, because I do need to get going.
Yeah,
I'm just going to leave it with like one last sort of comment. Right, is people are saying, "Oh, it's only 4, 5, 6 games, whatever it is in." Right, so we shouldn't be over analytical and say it's a bit early, but I did something today and it scared me. I looked at our fixtures up to January, to the 30th of December, and I looked at them and I said, so take away the Champions League games, because even some of them are hard, right? I saw probably six points, that maybe 7 or 8, where I thought, yeah. So Brentford at home, we get 3 points. I think we beat Fulham, and then I'm looking elsewhere and I'm like, we don't beat Newcastle. We're not beating Chelsea currently. We struggle with them anyway. We've got Liverpool, we've got Man United. We've just seen how Man United have played.
I'm asking, can this fan base hold on? Because the way you're talking,
It's going to get hectic as hell come February the 1st.
Wait.
Hold
Yes.
on, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes, they can, because
Brentford.
there's
What is Frank known for when he plays the top teams? And everyone's going, it's not sustainable. However, we haven't. The only top team we've played in this run is probably Manchester City. Manchester City away was our best game so far.
But they were in the best form, Marlon. They were losing games early on. They were in
It
the
doesn't matter. It doesn't
form.
matter. It doesn't matter. We still went there and actually played really well against City. We literally did a job on them. And Frank is known for doing jobs on the top 6 when he was at Brentford. So I'm expecting the exact same when we go and play these teams, that there will be a job done on them. Paris, you're using Paris Saint-Germain as well. Big team. The teams that we played, Bodo, Villarreal, these ain't top teams in Europe. So again, he has struggled. When we play teams like Wolves, Villa, who everyone has said has been struggling this season, and we played at home, we're just not set up in that way at the moment. But when we play these top sides, I know everyone's a bit worried, but Frank is known for this. So if it's sustainable or not, we'll soon find out in the next month or so.
We'll be back, Marlon. Hey, it's a good clip.
Yeah, come back.
Clip this. We'll see. Yep. Clip it.
But Spurs fans have just got, I think at the moment, Spurs fans have got to look at it and go, you've got to remember the biggest thing that we're coming from last year. Yes, we won a trophy, but we did finish 17th in the Premier League. And if you notice, when he played most of them players against Bodo, not one of our signings started, they shit the bed.
But Bodo last year, we destroyed him away. And this,
but they still shit the bed. Yeah, but it's different tactics now for this season.
I agree. But come on, like Bodo, we should not be
the thing
looking
is,
like that against Bodo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Marlon. The fans can't be patient because, as we said before we even came on, Daniel Levy isn't there anymore. Can you imagine that stadium if Daniel Levy was going to be there? If he was there, the boos, the banter, that's the reason why the Spurs ground is so quiet. When Spurs lose, they're like, we don't have anyone to shout at or blame. What are we going to do?
We'll see in January. Yeah. Hey, look, if it was all Levy, then in January, by second week, I expect 2 starters. If we're also gonna mess around and wait until the very last day to bring somebody in, maybe it wasn't all Levy, it's Enoch as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Very interesting.
If anything changed with this club, because we all agree we desperately need help. We desperately need 2 attacking players.
Left winger. Spurs need.
So January is going to be one of those. I don't think it's either Spurs go for someone who's available, or do they wait for their number 1 target in the summer? That's and
I feel like
fan base is going to lose their minds, aren't they?
I feel like what's available is a striker and not a winger.
Yeah, Tony and Valovic seem to be the one.
Yeah, they're the ones that are being talked about. Obviously, we've been linked with Samu as well recently. I actually made a video on them, but I don't know if I play it. But yeah,
they're not going to put 100 million. They're not going to put 100 million pounds for Semenyo in January.
Why not? Show a statement.
They're not going to do it.
Go fund me.
You're like, they're not going to do it. A little hope in his voice. It's not going to be like 90 million. Bam. Show a statement. Go ahead.
Hey, if 70 million was available for Savio, then 90 million should be there for Semenyo.
Yeah. In my mind. Why not? Show a statement. Even if Bournemouth says no, they go back and really go for it. Give them an offer they can't refuse, because there's absolutely no point in Enoch doing all what they've done so far and going, yeah, we're not actually going to do it. And they've invested 100 million. And they said that if you need more money, the money's there. So what big statement in January to go, yeah. And that's the thing. If that happens, that hopefully gives a kick up the ass to all the players, because it's no longer your position safe. It will replace you straight away. So I think, why not go for Semedo? Just go from in January. Why wait till summer?
What did you
come in? Just saying. It's not like Semedo he's playing great and we all see what he can do, and it's like, if he continues the way it is, then the bigger clubs will come looking at him. But right now, Spurs, he might go, I can go to Spurs, be starting every game, because like who am I got to go up against? Odegaard, Peyton Johnson. So why not show a statement? For sure.
Sorry, boys. I gotta run. Always a
Yep.
pleasure. Thanks,
Always,
Marlon. Thanks,
mate.
Ash, for having me. Warren, Nige. Good talking to you,
Yep.
boys.
Yep.
Take care, buddy.
Okay.
We need Semenyo to be like really bad for the next 3 months and then go in for him. Just be really off him.
Love it,
The fan
man.
base won't want him. The fan base will be like, oh,
Nah, forget him now.
no, they'll be like, he's a purple patch player. That's what they'll say. He goes missing for half the season.
Yeah.
You can't make it up, man. Trust me.
No, I know what they say.
Nah, man, we
It's
just
just
go
a
back to Slovenia, man. He's playing well at the moment.
Slovenia?
Yeah,
Has he even played?
he played today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he played today.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think he's better on the left than he's on the right. Every contribution he's making is from the left-hand side.
So different now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Compared to what he was doing last year.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we didn't get him.
City was never selling him to Spurs.
Yeah, no, but he was trying to up his contract in it, really. So he kind of used us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's where it was, man. But what do you not make of Destiny's comment? Because Destiny said,
What did he say?
He said something about clicking. He says, "Oh, what if we're just one game away from clicking? Like where it was comes into gear, everything."
Yeah. But when does that game happen?
23rd of November.
I remember last time. I remember it was under Ange, right? Because we went 10 games unbeaten, and then we beat Chelsea, and we had that kind of in the face.
Yes.
And we had a lot of injuries, and then was like, wait till the players come back. We're gonna be back now.
Just wait.
Just you wait. And there was someone else. Oh, was it Conte? We were like, wait till it all clicks. I think it was Conte.
After Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, wait till we click.
To be fair to Conte, we were about to click after the World Cup, and then Bentancur got injured, and it all fell apart. The whole season fell apart after that Leicester game.
Yeah, it was the Leicester game, wasn't it?
It was the Leicester
game. First game as well, and he got rinsed.
We got rinsed. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest.
On a new one. So it's.
I always think as well.
Go on, sorry.
Sorry, yeah. Like another thing I want to like. I've always wondered. It always seems that, like the two Aston Villa goals were standing, were really good, but it always seems that when Spurs play another team, they have players who can do that, and Spurs don't. Like how many times has Spurs scored from outside the backs? Paulinho, I can remember Paulina, against Wolves, but like
we don't. So this was
really, is there?
This was the problem I think we had at the weekend, because you haven't got a Son and you haven't got a Maddison, and that's exactly what that game needed from our point of view, and because it was all functional players, as I call them. It was just going to work as the way it was. We were never going to score a goal from outside the box. We were never going to. The goal that we scored was just exactly how we were going to score another one. There was no other way. I think if Maddison was playing on Sunday, he was key to that. I think we would have won, because he would have taken that game, because that game was all over the place. It was scruffy from both teams. It just needed a maverick, and I think for the first time this season, I've looked at it and gone, there's no Kane, there's no Son, there's no Bow, there's none of them players that would have taken that game for us, the way Modric used to do it before as well. We just haven't got that player at the moment. And I just think that's where we're at. And that's why we're going to get performances like this.
There was a chance in that second half, a couple of times when Xavi picked the ball up on the left, and I thought he was just going to try and whip one into the top corner.
Yeah.
He just kept taking an extra touch. I want to ask you guys about Villa's first goal. Do you blame? Have you got any blame on Vicario? Or?
Let's bring it up, man. I think it was, for me personally, I'm going to talk from my opinion. I thought, okay, cool. People say Vicario could have moved his feet quicker, and therefore he got across. But the way my man hit the ball, it was like a knuckle punch. I think Arteta might have a point, These balls swerving. I said it last week. These balls be swerving.
A lot of good goals.
The ball.
That's strike one. Strike one. You never ever say Arteta's got a point.
Right, yellow card. I don't care. Listen, the way my man, bro, the way he hit the ball, he hit it so true. The dip on it was just mad. Look, can you see here?
Yeah,
how high it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though, like, all right, he's positioning. He could be a bit more central, but the way it goes, if it was through him, I'd say fair enough. And because the previous, He's got previous, right? He's got previous from the other games. I think it was what Wolves, Brighton. He messed up. There was another game, where he should be saving it from long range, from distance. But this one, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
But here's the thing. If you go back to that first screen, look at that. You got Spence, Polina, Bendencourt. No one closing them down. No one actually closing. It's like and he hits the
Go on. So no, before this clip, which I should have put on, the ball breaks from Xavi. Xavi's behind.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Xavi was more of the issue with this, the way he let it go into Rodgers. Yes, I think I did blame Bentancur and Paulina for not shutting him down quick enough. But when you look at the actual goal itself, I'm not the biggest Vicario fan. I never have been, never been from day one. However, this goal's not on him. Look at his positioning on the goal. He's even if he stands more to the right of it, I personally, I think only 3 goalkeepers in the league potentially save it. Potentially, and that's even potentially. Not many saving that. I'm sorry.
I think Bentancur dropped off a little bit too much, and I'm not trying to jump. Like, I'm not trying to do what you guys were doing before.
What is there? The evidence is right there.
I just think, Paulina did. Like, I should have shown the slide before because Paulina was furthest away, but somehow Paulina ends up the closest to it. But Bentancur originally was the closest after Xavi played the ball back into my man's path.
Yeah, this is Ben's weakness, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
always has been. You're never going to change this about his game, because if you look at most of the goals that we do concede from outside the box, it usually is Bentancur where he's not shutting down quick enough.
Yeah. So what's his point in the team then? Because if he's not closing down, if he's not setting up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just
it's not all the time. Come on.
But you just said that normally when the goals are scored from outside, it's because he's not closing down.
Even this mistake here, where he's played as a fullback here, you see him here,
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it already. Like,
I saw it. He tried to be all clever and smart. Didn't work out.
It takes too many touches there. But I could say the same with what's his face as well, with Kudus in that game. I thought Kudus took way too many touches.
Yes, but Kudus does it away from danger.
Yeah,
he does take too much touches, but
Bergvall does it too.
Yeah, but Bergvall's like
you can't.
Bergvall's never done it. Bergvall's been receiving the pass a couple of times, but he doesn't. When Bergvall does it, he's at least trying to break up a play or trying to get away from someone, but he doesn't always do it.
Well, I wanted to ask Nigel's opinion on the goal. Like, what do you think? Whose fault was it? The goalkeeper or?
I certainly, when I first saw it, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because if you look at it from behind the goal, Vicario did take a step to his left just as Morgan Rogers was shooting. So it kind of looked like he was way out of position. His positioning was all wrong. But then again, you look at the goal and it didn't fly into the top corner. It kind of went into the middle. And I still look at it and I think, surely if he was to the right a little bit, he might have, whether he would have saved it or not, I'm not sure, but at least got closer to it. I do think his positioning was wrong. But I agree. I think Bentancur should have been the one closing down. I hear a lot of people saying that Van der Ven should have closed him down, but Van der Ven was watching the runner. Yeah, for me, Bentancur should have been the one closing down. I don't know, Vicario maybe. I think.
So if he stands more to the right, just from the goalkeeper's point of view, if he stands more to the right, he will see that a lot later. And what ends up happening, he'll probably go through him because he'll be so late because of the amount of bodies it's. So he's gone to the left to see where the ball is. Now, if he goes to the right, he's got Paulinho, Bentancur, and Van der Ven in front of him. He won't see it. He won't see that ball till late. And what will eventually probably happen, it will go probably over him, and everyone will definitely be blaming him because they've gone, oh, he's in the right position. So actually, I think what he's done is taken that step to the left because he's seen the 3 Spurs players there and gone, you know what, they're going to shut him down. But what ends up happening is the opposite. Yeah, he ends up getting the shot off, and it looked. You're right.
Yeah, if he should have shot again, if he just should have shot again.
I'll be honest. Like when I was watching it during the game in real time, I didn't think he was going to shoot from there.
If you put up the screenshot again, because if you can. So with Vicario as a goalkeeper, because in the comments you're saying my Van der Ven, but if you can see the Aston Villa behind Spence, So Vicario has to second guess what's going to happen. Morgan Rogers can play that ball between Spence and Van de Ven, which means that Vicario,
cash in it,
yeah, cash.
And that's exactly where I thought he was going to play it. To be fair,
Yeah. So basically, so what's happening? Vicario's going right. There's either a chance he's going to shoot or he's going to play it through. He might play it through, so have to be in a starting position. Yeah. So that's why he takes steps to go towards it. But then Rogers goes, "Fuck it, I'm just going to put my laces through it," and that's what beats Vicario, the power in the dip. Doesn't have to curl.
Exactly. Dip.
It's the power in the dip. So when he smacks that ball, no matter what way it was done, it doesn't. It's just that power in the dip. So it was over Vicario before he even diving. He's diving and the ball's already behind him. It was just that power. And what I noticed, and this is what watching like Ronaldo and Messi's and all doing, even Haaland, first time shots always deceives a keeper because they're not set.
Kane used to do it all the time.
Yeah. So
as well.
Before the goalkeeper set, you take the shot.
Yeah. Bam, gone. So he's caught in two positions, and then the second, so it's par. You can't blame Vicario for that. But again, if I'm the keeper, I'm shouting at my two players who.
I'd be the first one to blame Vicario. I've been weeks for me to stick up for him. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, there's just when I saw that goal, I was like, look, there's nothing you could have done. Well, apart from there's nothing he could have done. There's nothing. I don't think any goalkeeper. Well, maybe Edison.
Edison was Donnarumma would have probably
tried. Yeah.
Bought it of his cap.
Yeah.
The only other goalkeeper I was thinking that'd probably get anywhere close to it because he's very good at shot stopping was Nick Pope. But I was even thinking, I don't think Roya stops that. I don't think Pickford stops that.
It was just a very powerful dip shot. That was it, and the first time. So yeah.
That's the point though. I don't really see any Spurs players at the moment, apart from maybe Xavi on occasion, shooting outside from the box.
Yeah, like this is not something I'm talking about this season. I'm talking about.
Tell's a specialist that's shooting outside the box. That's one of his attributes. Yeah, he doesn't do it enough.
But that's the thing. He doesn't do it enough. But why? That's it's just a question. It's like even last season or the season before. It's like fuck, she must be a world class women's goalkeeper. And the thing is, it's not just taking shots outside the box. It's again having the confidence, the kahunas to do it. So, I want to know, I wonder, are the Spurs players, especially when they play at home, under pressure not to make a mistake? Like if they blast the ball,
I feel that way. I feel that.
But Ash, just quickly on that, when we looked at Frank, didn't we look at most of the shots that Brentford took were not from outside the area? They barely scored goals from outside the area. So I think it's a tactical thing, not
the shoot from outside the box.
Yeah, it's very much based on to shoot in, and this is why I think, and I hate it, but this is why our XG is so good. And when we have conversions to shots, it's because they only ask the players to shoot when the angle is good for them, and it's a more favourable time to shoot, and that's exactly what he done at Brentford. And I can kind of see that.
Is that a problem now, you think?
Sorry,
do you think that's a problem then? That we're
I think it's something we're working on. I think it's because of that Destiny Udogie Porro thing. I think once he can fix the fullback situation and then a left winger situation, I think we'll start seeing something slightly different.
When you say he's working on a fullback situation, do you mean in attacking phase? In
the attacking phase, because we saw it against Leeds. I think everyone forgets. I thought we played really well against Leeds. We had moments, but I thought we played really well. But it was everyone had said it was because you had Destiny on one side and Porro on the other, and Destiny. And if we go back to the friendlies, especially I think it was Luton, and there was another game that Destiny had played. Do you remember how far forward he was and how effective he was when he was pushing in that area? Which is where Xavi will probably go into, and Maddison will probably be when he comes back. And I think that's the way he's going to play it.
Right. That's if Destiny can stay fit. He seems to always be injured.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Maddison's far off.
He's not coming back.
He's far off.
Yeah. I think Kulu's closer. So maybe next month, maybe the back end of next month, Kulu could possibly get there. But even still, I don't know if Kulu, or Frank plays Kulu and Xavi Simons together. Does he see Kulu as a number 8? Because I'm not too sure.
I heard someone say that. I heard someone say that he's going to see Kulu as a number 8, and Javi with the 10. So it'll be not Bentancur, it'll be Kulu, which would be interesting.
So the
I
thing
can,
is,
I can see that.
why not, like, if that's going to be the case, then why not? See, the thing is, yes, we can understand why he plays Bentancur, but isn't it like if he plays, so if he decides, right, against tomorrow, he's going to play Gray, and Gray doesn't play well, then he can say, well, you know what? That's why I play Bentancur. I always think that managers should play the fans a little bit and say, right, I'm going to give you what you want since you think you're better than, you know, more than me. Then when it doesn't work, he can laugh. And if it works, it saves Frank. Say, because if Frank plays Archie Gray and he has a man in the match performance, he'll be like, yep, you did tell me so. I did it. You know, I just think it's weird that for the number 8 position, there's 3 young players he can play in that position. And maybe Bentancur can be brought on to calm things down. But certainly it's kind of like, why? It clearly shows that they need energy in that middle. They need someone who can be a box to box, get in the middle, run forward, and do things, you know, just disrupt play a little bit. And he doesn't do it. And I still think he should try Johnson as a number 9. Like,
I've got a weird feeling. Johnson number 9. I just don't think it's physicality.
It doesn't matter. He runs in behind. Sure, the 2 players he has right now don't have the physicality, but they don't run in behind.
The team that comes at us, you know, there may be the spaces in behind, but for teams that don't, then
again, it's still. But if you have Xavi as a number 10 picking up the ball, or someone picking up the ball, and Johnson's making runs in behind, you know what I mean? Like, you can still, because if you look at, say, Haaland or even Mbappe is not great at holding up the ball as such, but what he has is lightning speed behind. So that, you know,
as well.
So yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like at least something different, because it's showing that Carlison isn't working. Yeah,
I think that's where Mwani's going to come in though.
I just think,
Johnson role that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think Mwani will play that, and that's where we'll see the best of him. But it's just unfortunate at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I think Monaco, because obviously this is a Monaco preview. I think Richarlison will start. I don't know about you guys.
Do we have anyone else?
That's it. That's what I'm saying. Why not?
No, I'm saying Richarlison starts, but then I think Mwani gets more minutes. I think Mwani will come on.
Mwani will come on.
In replace of Richarlison. But I think the starting lineup, I don't know what do you lot think the starting lineup is? Do you think Kudus will play again?
Yeah.
Right? Or do you think maybe will come in? Do you think you don't think Johnson might come in?
No, I don't think Johnson will come in. Johnson will come in for the left, I reckon. I don't think Odegaard plays.
I don't think Johnson can play on the left, though. I think Johnson has to play on the right from now on. As in, like, Kudos will move into the middle at some point if Johnson was to come on. Like,
is Kudos left-footed or right-footed? Or is he both?
Left-footed.
So why? I mean, play him on the left, because then
the reason why I don't think Johnson comes in, because if you go back to the Bodo game, he has to play more of the signings that signed in the summer. He can't play the players that came from last year, because they just don't know what they're doing. They can't play the system.
No, interesting. So
it's interesting, but I think Johnson will play off the left tomorrow, and I think it'll go Richarlison, Kudos, and Johnson. It will be one of Bentancur or what's his name, Paulinho. I think he'll play one of them, and I think it'll be Sarr. But I've got a feeling it's going to be Bergvall for some reason. That's going to play in the 8 tomorrow. I think Xavi will play the 10. Yeah, I think it'll be Bergvall. I think he's going to take one of them out.
I think he has to. I think it's come to that time.
Monaco's home record is not great either, and they weren't great against. Was it City they played last? And they wasn't great. They literally got quite lucky.
Wouldn't surprise me if Kudus is benched, you know, just because you look at the games coming up, and maybe he plays Johnson off the right and Xavi off the left. I don't know. I see him playing
the reason why I don't think he can risk it is because Monaco, out of all the games we've got, Monaco, this is probably a favourable 3 points that when you look at the Champions League games, and actually in this one. He took the risk against Bodo and it didn't work. And that's why I think at this moment, if he's going to take the risk, he has to take it like what Ange did when he took the risk against Galatasaray and got it right later on. He wasn't sure he was going to get it right, but he did. So I just got a feeling that he won't. I think he needs to get some points on the board. And the results that have been going on tonight, I think he needs to get some points on the board so he can take himself further away from that bottom lot. So when it comes to those last 2 games of January, he's not risking it all when he can kind of do the resting then. But look,
Who did Spurs have? It's Everton, isn't it? On Sunday.
Everton, who've got a good home record.
Yeah. So I mean, that's. I just think, yeah, like it'll be interesting. But I know that if I see Paulinho and Bentancur, I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Do you think we'll lose? Do you think we'll lose if
I
Paulinho...
don't think it'll lose. I just don't think Spurs can win. You know what I mean? Like, it's
if you look at the record of Monaco against English teams, it's quite good.
I know, but it's Spurs. Ash, we've been fans of Spurs for a lifetime. We know that, right? We know that when Spurs play a team that hasn't won at home, that team wins at home.
I'm saying that Monaco's obviously they lost against Man City, but no, they drew in it. They drew.
They drew. They got very lucky. Yeah, the referee helped them out a little bit.
Lost the hope for 8 months, so there you go. I mean, I just think it's like that midfield needs energy, and in truth, this is the best time. I would rather have what's happening now than what happened with Angie in the first season of 10 games, because at least now all the issues are being seen instead of Spurs playing really good and then dropping off and then not recovering. So I think now is actually a good time for this to happen. And I think I think he'll stick with Xavi number 10 to get he needs Xavi to get used to being in the team.
So so let me take who comes out?
I think Bentancur and Bentancur comes out, yeah.
So I'm going to take Sarr off. I'm going to put Xavi here, and then put Bergvall in the 8, yeah?
Yeah.
Bergvall in the 8, Paulinho next to him.
Yeah.
And then Simmons in the 10 there, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you're saying what? Everyone's saying Kudos, well, not Nige, but you guys are saying Kudos to start. Who's on the left? Who plays on the left?
I said Johnson, but Nige thinks Odegaard. I think Johnson, yeah.
Oh,
I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling Nige might be right. I reckon he might.
I think one of them be out, either Simmons or Kudos. Both of them won't play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simmons or Kudos. One of them will be rested for the Everton game. We're away, aren't we?
Yeah, we're away against Everton.
Against Endai and Grealish.
But like, wouldn't it make sense then? Because like to have Kudos and Xavi at least start, and then you can bring them off.
I mean, this is I don't know, Frank. What do you think Frank would do? I know you're saying what makes sense to you, but if he thinks he's got a game on Sunday, a Premier League game, he needs one of his players to be fresh.
Do you know what? This is what's good about what's going on right now, because to think we're guessing. If this was Ant, we'd know what team he's putting out tomorrow.
Yeah, fair.
The fact that we're guessing will mean Monaco are guessing too. And it's not going to be straightforward for them to be. They're going to plan for different occasions. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that we are still trying to guess who's going to be playing tomorrow, I think we can name the back four. Is your doggy out? Yeah, your doggy's out.
Yeah.
Well, basically, they're saying Romero could be out for the next 3 games, but he should be back for Chelsea. So maybe the injury is a bit more.
So it's going to be Porro, Danzo, and VDV, and then you've kind of got to rotate what's in front of you. Well, obviously, Richarlison's going to come in.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But I mean, what do you guys think of their Minamino? He's quite tricky. Ansu Fati used to play at Brighton.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Akalush.
You see, seeing that now, I feeling he will start with Bentancur and Polina.
What for these 3 players? For these, is you reckon?
Yeah. It's away as well, so it can contain.
Because I think what will happen is Fati will press here like that, so left-footed. So I think Danso will take care of Fati physically. Van der Ven will take care of the striker. Akalush will battle with Spence, but Akalush likes to drift into the midfield a lot. So will he drag him inside? I don't know, but we've seen Spence, put man in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? Bodies. So it'll be interesting.
Here's the thing about Spence: is he a better defender than Destiny?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Is that why he probably, even if I know it? You see, that's what I've noticed as well, right? for every kind of con against a player, there's positive for the player, which is weird. You know what I mean? It's really weird because that's Spence obviously likes to cut in.
Yeah,
But he's really good at defending. You know what I mean? Perro is not good at defending, but he's really good at passing the ball. You know,
we're actually linked to this player called Alcalush, right?
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see if Spence gets the better of him, if the perception of fans think if he's good enough, because he's linked as a number 10, so he can hold on to the ball, pick it off the two pivots here for Monaco, because they play a similar system to us with two pivots.
Yeah.
Akalush might drop in and then drive. He's more of a glidey type of player, where he likes to float in between these areas here. And some people are saying that he might be a good alternative if Kudos picks up a knock or gets injured or we need to rest him. Akalush could come in, but I don't know. Like Kulusevski for me fulfills that role, so I don't really see the need for another right-sided, left-footed player coming off the right, because he fits the same profiles of Kulusevski and the Kudos. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've not seen enough of him, but I'm kind of with Oren. I think that maybe Bentancur might play, and we might see Bergvall in the Simmons role, just to control the
So you're
game,
saying Simmons will come off, and we
just to try and keep possession.
Bergvall here and Paulina on.
That makes sense. Yeah, that actually makes sense.
No one for Gray then, so no one's going to say Gray might.
I would say Gray, but you know, we're looking at reality. You know what I mean? And basically, whatever. I mean, I think Gray should be given a chance. I think maybe he will be, but for now, tomorrow, I think it will probably be Paulina and Bentancur again. And yeah, maybe Xavi will give it a rest. Though I do think that personally, I think Xavi will start because I think Frank wants to get him playing in the team.
Do you know what's quite funny? And I'm not a big fan of Gray, but it's quite funny that the only home game that we've won this season was Gray, Bergvall, and Star.
Yeah, true.
That's what Christian was saying earlier.
Yeah,
he was impressed by him, even
though I know
he
Gray
was-
gets a lot of stick, but like
he was terrible that game. I think Bergvall and Sar got him out of a hole. Gray's best game was Bodo away.
see, the thing is about Gray is like when he last season when he's at centre back, he's left wing or whatever. The first couple of games he was bad, then he grew into centre back. See him, I think with enough running games, he will show what he's capable of because he does everything right. You know what I mean? He's very mature, and again, he's only 18 years old. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really interesting how fans will slate an 18-year-old but will back someone like Richarlison. You know what I mean? And it's like
no one's backing Richarlison.
well, there's some fans out there.
He's not a six, though, is he? Gray's not a six.
That's
He's
the
more
problem.
of an eight.
Gray's not. Yeah, he's more of an eight.
So if you got Paulina there, people are saying
it should. I've been saying this for time. He's not, and he's been playing that position. I'd even try him.
Yeah,
when he's trying the free to be, if it was him to be more further forward, because he is very good on the ball.
Bergvall as the right side midfielder.
Yeah, because Gray can play passes. That's one thing Gray is good at. He can play, he's very good at passing the ball.
So you say we're passing it to Johnson, or who are we passing it to? Kudos?
I think, do you know what? Looking at that, I'll take Johnson out and Xavi will go on the left.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like maybe Johnson not for that game.
Yeah.
Johnson, Johnson's in the middle.
Still like Xavi on the left, but if you've got Xavi tucking in, it'll be interesting to see if that dynamic could happen. You know,
I think that we just know that that's not going to happen. It's going to be Bergvall. It's going to be Pellegrini and Bentancur.
You lose the ball, you have to go into a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it'll be interesting to predict how Frank's going to play it.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to analyze it afterwards.
It's three away games as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because I want to know. Do you think we go to Monaco? They've got like 5,000 fans. I'm hearing they haven't really got like a massive
They're
turn.
not a big fan base. They're not massive.
Yeah. So, do you think we'll go there as a fan base, like because the weather's meant to be decent? We go over there, we kind of dominate their stadium, make noise,
Make it like a home game. And
Make
Spurs
it,
win.
yeah, like a
No, that's the last one we won.
You don't want to make a Spurs home game to lose. No, I'm sure the Spurs fans are like, they've always been great, singing and getting behind a team. And like I said, even at home, it's about the players doing something to get behind the team, and doing something and trying something instead of just playing calm and passive football.
You're right, man. Do you know what? Pressing wise, if Gray was in the tent, can Gray press?
Oh yeah, he never stops.
So Gray and Richarlison would press, like
Mm.
press the keeper.
Because it was what Gray was doing against Bodo, wasn't it? Because that was the key to
That
why
was
we
the
came
goal,
back.
yeah.
Yeah. it
But
was
depending on
key.
what side the ball goes on, you'd see Gray would
But
press.
didn't Grace came on for Bentancur though, and he played sort of an 8, but he just got up the pitch because he has the energy to. I remember he came on for Bentancur, didn't he? And Polina stayed on.
I can't remember. Salisu used to play for Southampton, didn't he? Salisu, centre back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's actually
yeah.
decent. He's not bad.
He made a lot of mistakes though.
Yeah. So
Under pressure.
maybe we use him as a pressing trigger. Do you know what
It's
I'm saying?
unfortunate they ain't got Eric Dyer playing, man.
I know. Eric Dyer's out, man. Also, Pogba's out as well.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah, he was
Kamara. Kamara's really good midfielder, partnered with Sarr, isn't it?
So what you're saying is that tomorrow Spurs will make this game a lot harder than it needs to be.
Oh, we're away from home. We're good. We're good away from home. Oh, actually, Bodo wasn't great.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I went from outside the box. It was, I can't remember what player, number 10. He just right foot, left foot, and then he struck it and then went past
Yes.
Mario.
Mm.
That
Yep.
was cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody. It just seems to me like if Spurs come up, if the players at Spurs, if they come up against a team that's just, let's make this a dogfight, let's run off each other and everything, like Bobo did.
Mm.
Spurs start to struggle. It's like they can't, they get dysfunctional, and I think Spurs need to do that. But yeah, unfortunately, you'll play Polini and Bentancur tomorrow. I think this is going to be. Fingers crossed, Spurs don't score.
All right. So if we were to play Pauline and Bentancur, then do you think they'll get rested for the game against Everton on Sunday? Or
That's the thing.
Is it fixated now that we just keep playing them?
That's the thing. He doesn't need to, and he does. Personally, I wouldn't play. You know my philosophy. Like I would play Polina because he's a solid base, and then I would Xavi and Sarr, Bergville, Gray, and then bring Bentancur on to give them rest. And then against Everton, play Bentancur at number 8 and say, right, you don't need to do anything. You just do what you keep doing, and then do that. Because he has a squad to rotate. I would say Frank. Would you say Frank is the only manager in a long while who actually has a squad that he can rotate with good enough players?
Me.
I'm
I'm not saying brilliant players. I'm saying he
I
can.
think the level's gone up a little bit.
Yeah, he can rotate.
He's got better quality.
Not defensively anymore.
No, not defense. You don't rotate your defense though. I mean, unless there's injury, because you want to keep.
Can we? Got injuries. So.
We've got so many injuries, and Dragoshin's, I don't know when he's meant to be back.
Yeah.
They're taking them slow because of the injury of the knee.
The thing is, like Danzo and Van de Ven didn't do. I don't think Danzo played that bad. I thought it was pretty good.
I love Danzo.
Yeah,
Absolutely love him.
like the pace, the speed. I mean, considered what happened last season when Romero got injured. We were like, who's going to play next to Van de Ven? But Van de Ven is looking touch wood. Every time I see every time I see kick, every time he takes those goal kicks, I'm like, please don't pull your hamstring. Captain as well.
Now I like the way they've used Van de Ven because they're making him sprint forward as opposed to sprint backwards.
Yeah.
And they're making the other centre back more of the sweeper kind of role, which is saving his hamstrings. I think that's why he's having such a great season. He's having the better of the two, I think, in my opinion, between him and
Paulinho, I think, is very key to that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Next week's a worry, though, isn't it? Isn't this next week a worry? Because we can't rotate the defence at all because of the injuries, and we've got, like you say, Monaco, Everton, Newcastle in the cup, and then Chelsea.
The Japanese kid. Oh, Newcastle. Listen, I think if we get knocked out,
Japanese kid's still injured, Ash. Yeah, coming back.
Yeah, look, listen, I reckon Newcastle is a massive game. Massive game.
It's a massive game for both.
If we knock out the holders, then we basically are saying like, you know what, we're going to the quarterfinals, and I think it's such a big game, such a massive game, because cups for Spurs fans, cup games are everything. And if we get knocked out, I could just see this fan losing their heads.
The only way we get knocked out without losing our heads is if we go to Hill Dickinson Stadium, by the way, and get a result.
So wait. You're right.
What's that?
You're right.
Arsenal?
Yeah.
Everton,
isn't it?
Right,
Yeah, it's not Goodison Park anymore.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Because I was gonna say, like, it's a hard one. If we go to Newcastle,
And we can't be dicked on by what's his name either, by the way. Grealish. Otherwise, people are going to lose their minds.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it this Wednesday then? Not this tomorrow. I mean, is it Wednesday? As
It's
in
next week, Wednesday. Yeah.
So it's
The games are coming.
Newcastle. Yeah.
Newcastle, then
All games in
Chelsea,
like 10 days.
Copenhagen.
Is it Chelsea versus Newcastle?
Yeah.
So wait, we could potentially have Everton. Oh my, Newcastle.
And then we've got 3 home games in a week, because we've got Chelsea, Copenhagen, and Man United before the international break.
Really has to play every game.
There we go.
This is where rotation comes in. So yeah, he has the best to rotate.
We've got 10 injuries, and 6 of them are defenders, I believe.
Well, we have to. With you saying that, with that run of games, we do have to rotate at some point.
I think.
So
I don't think tomorrow, because of these games coming up, I don't think it's going to be Bentancur and Paulinho.
Okay.
I think Sarr or Bergvall will finally come in, but I don't know if it's going to be both of them and Xavi moves to the left.
It depends what he he values more.
Yeah.
In terms of what Sarr brings. I think the difference between Sarr and Bergvall, in my opinion, is the ball carrying ability. Do you know what I mean? I think
Sarr's more of a I will run forever. I will run into space. He does have the
He's got a decent shot on him. He shoots.
And he can make a pass too.
Yeah. Than any of our other midfielders. So I think I don't know who he starts though. I don't know if it's Bergvall, so I can't decide who.
We'll find out tomorrow.
We will find out tomorrow.
Before we go, super chat from Destiny 5. Big up. I'll let you answer this, Ash. What if we are just a game away from clicking? I know we kind of answered it earlier.
Yeah. The reason why I was like, you know what it is? I've just heard this so many times, as I said before in the stream before. So I'm a bit more skeptical with the whole click-in thing. You know what I mean? And I hope I'm wrong. You know, I hope that all of a sudden Mawani comes in, because we didn't really speak too much on him, but I just hope someone like a Mawani comes in and he solves like 1 or 2 of those problems in terms of that front line.
Yeah.
He can hit the ground running. He can hold up the play. He can run in behind, stretch defenders. Aerially, he's a threat. I thought, like, if you Porro could whip a crossing into him, he can get on the end of it. And then all of a sudden, like, teams start fearing us or start fearing out what we can do in the transition. So that's my hopium, bro. That is my hopium. In real life, I ain't seen it in Spurs shirt. I haven't. I can't lie. I see him do it at Juventus, but people criticize Serie A, saying it's not strong enough. Do you know what I mean? So,
Nige, thanks for coming on, mate. Let the people know where they can find you.
So, guys, you can find me at Pure Coys TV. I am also on TikTok and X, I guess. So, yeah, come over, subscribe. Much appreciated, guys. Enjoyed it.
Your link will be in the description later when I send you the link. Lauren, when you back? Next week? Week after? No, we're back next week. I'm working the next Champions League games on a Tuesday, the one at home. I'm trying to work out when we're not back on. But we are back
next week, yeah?
Yeah.
And talk about 2 great losses. No.
Wait,
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Here, you are the positive ones now, so I have to be the negative ones. I have to be the negative ones. I am arranging a protest against Enoch. It's not done yet, but quietly organising it. It's going to be an X protest. So all I have to do is go on X, go Enoch out. Every little helps, guys. Nah, it'll be good. It'll be good no matter what. But yeah, it's always fun. I stayed till the end too. So
Yeah,
much
well done,
value. That's what Daniel Levy's
I
got.
see it in your eyes. I see it, man.
Yeah.
No, you held in, man.
Yeah. Stayed up. Yeah, it's cool. It's always good. And I'm gonna enjoy watching the match. Marlon, you probably get a couple of texts from me.
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah.
When something you said happened.
You know what? I was gonna text you against Villa. I thought, nah, because Villa's gonna score.
I was out. So you would have got nothing back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you read them because the little ticks go blue.
Yeah, I read them now. Like, to be fair, I'm one of them. If I get any messages while the Tottenham game's on, I don't message anyone till after. I don't.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah. I'm always one of them.
I know.
I don't go on X. I don't go on anything. I literally 90% concentrate until half time.
Yep. No, I get you. I'm really messing. But yeah.
Ash back tomorrow.
Hey, listen. They're ready sending for me. So,
Mate,
He ain't gonna go to sleep.
mate, I think there's going to be a point that the rival shows is going to have pure Arsenal man and
no Spurs.
no Spurs. You'll be hosting, but won't be saying nothing.
Arsenal, it's pure hosted. Literally, like, hey, we need a win tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Because we need to come back from that Villa.
Yeah.
Xavi needs to do something as well at some point.
He's be banging, scoring goals, doing something.
He needs to do, because them man are calling him Simon at the moment. I can't happen.
Well, Florian.
Yeah, or Florian, man. But yeah, man.
I know it's the Liverpool contingent are hiding at the moment on rivals.
Yes, they are. They are, man.
Liverpool. Yeah.
I'm going to try to call them out again. Because they need some licks as well, man. I can't be just taking it.
Was it five in a row Liverpool's lost now?
You said it, not me. Well, we're having meltdown.
And Spurs have never had that, but sure, that's not, it's only Liverpool.
I lost and we're losing our minds. Right?
Yeah.
And get beaten United at home at Anfield. Harry Maguire scoring. Just saying.
Anyway,
yeah.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. You've been awesome as always. Thank you to Destiny for the super chat. And also thank you to Jacob for the raid about an hour ago. So thank you to him as well.
Yeah.
Ashmatic Analysis shows back next week, Tuesday. So make sure you tuned in with a bunch of new guests. I'm back tomorrow. We are on Last Word on Spurs. I'm doing the match reaction for that. So I'll be back there tomorrow. Ash is back tomorrow for the Rivals. So make sure you tune in for that.
Big up Christian as well before we ride out, man.
Yeah.
Big up, obviously, Eugene as well.
Yeah, Eugene. He was in the mood. Well, he was in the mood, weren't he?
He wasn't as sad as last time, which was good. Like last time, I thought he was going to end it all. He was making me silence, but he was a little bit better today. So
he was good tonight. He came up for some therapy.
Yeah, he was good.
Now, big up to Eugene.
Yeah.
Hope all is well, all good his side. But as always, big up to everyone on the street, everyone in the chat. But as always, come on, you Spurs.